Well, there goes the Hoodly diggly doodly diggly 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 doodly doodly higgly diggly diggly doodly iggly diggly diggly poo. You see, the St. Patrick's Day, pre-St. Patrick's Day version of Dave's Gone By live on this March 11th, 2023 with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife Joyce, sitting in on the drums. Yeah.
You should tell them we were in Ireland.
Well, she's not so much Buddy Rich. She's Buddy Middle Class kind of thing. But yes, we did go. We went to Dublin and to Kilkenny. Oh my God, they Kilkenny.
County Kilkenny.
County, yeah. We were there about a week. Unfortunately, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't go to Scotland. We didn't go to...
I wanted to go to Northern Ireland, but we didn't have it on the agenda.
Yeah. Not that it was dangerous or anything. We just didn't have time to hit Belfast or Northern Ireland or anything like that.
My favorite show was The Bog of Cats.
When we went to the theater, we went to, oh my God, the National Theatre of Ireland.
Yeah.
The Druid we also went to, and there was a play there by Marie something called The Bog of Cats that Joyce really liked. And we saw a couple of other shows there because it was a theater trip. But anyway, I'm getting Irish on you, unusually, just because A, we're a couple of days away from St. Patrick's Day, and B, we have a guest in the Daverhood today. Marina Carr, yeah. A guest in the Daverhood today.
It was in the Abbey.
The Abbey Theatre, of course, yes. Abbey Theatre. What else? I just remember about a woman who drowned cats. I don't really remember the rest of the play. And actually, if you were in the audience, it was participatory, so they handed you a live cat.
No.
I mean, at intermission, you got to drown it, in the toilets.
It wasn't about drowning cats at all.
No, it was something it had to do something with the cats who were drowning.
Magic Cat Woman.
Oh, sure, Magic Cat Lady, yeah. And I do love myself, some magic pussy. But in the Daverhood this morning will be a longtime cabaret, a nightclub star and singer, also a woman who has been on Broadway in a couple of shows, and someone who, guessing from the name, I know she's Catholic, I'm presuming that she's Irish Catholic, she is KT Sullivan. And if you know, a few years ago we had Mark Nadler on the program as well. He's a cabaret guy, very live wire sort of fella. And so he and KT have done shows together for bunches and bunches of years. So, even when he was on, I was thinking, well, it's great that we have Mark Nadler on. How come we're not having KT Sullivan on? And then it just this week, turns out, she's constantly appearing in places and singing and doing her shows. But she is going to be doing a show this week. Let me get her stuff up here on Thursday. This Thursday, day before St. Patrick's Day, you can catch her at Pangea doing her new show, When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. So, do you want to go see KT Sullivan at Pangea? Of course you do. If you're not sure, come join us, because KT will be joining us.
Live streamed or just in person?
No, it's Pangea. Go to a club, you order drinks, and you listen to Irish songs from KT Sullivan, who will be with us in just a little while to talk to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sullivan, all about her career, her life, her Broadway stuff, her cabaret stuff, and presumably Rabbi Saul being Rabbi Saul religion. So don't miss that. And then KT's going to hang with us to play our weekly today, yesterday trivia quiz. We skipped it last week because I kind of needed just a week away from stuff, but the quiz is back, and it's back with our usual beloved panelists, and those include Leslie Hoban Blake of the show Two on the Aisle, and David Sheward, who of course is the former managing editor of Backstage, and is the current theater critic, one of them, for theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and he has his own blog called The David Desk. So they're going to join KT Sullivan in trying to answer ridiculous, pointless trivia questions on our Today-Yesterday quiz. If that weren't enough, ladies and gentlemen, and as David Letterman would say, don't you think it ought to be, we will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Wiggins, Colorado, presumably where Carol Burnett's Mrs. Wiggins was born. But no, there's a town in Colorado called Wiggins, And I've written a poem about it for no good reason. You'll get to hear it late in the show. And we will, of course, be going to Greeley for Greeley Crimes and Old Times. This is based on columns that are, or at this point still were, in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, based on real things that happened. One of them is phone calls that come into the local police dispatch, and the other is stuff that was happening in the news and then printed in the newspapers back in 1923, 100 years ago. So we mix all that up together, as we do every week, and we come up with a brand spanking new episode of Dave's Gone By. So, thanks for stopping in. We're going to be here until probably close to noon, or maybe a little bit after, doing what we do, yammering away, having a little fun with trivia, making some jokes. That's Dave's Gone By. So before we get to all the stuff we got to get to, let me just clear the old Dave throat, because this is one of those mornings when I can't seem to clear it. I wonder what Tom Waits sounds like gargling. Like a drill outside your window. But, okay. I usually like to clear my throat in a way of kind of telling you about the week that I've had. So the week started with with a filling and a drilling, because I had to go back to the dentist, third time in just a few weeks, to make up for the fact of not going to the dentist, shame on me, for about 3 years. So literally Monday morning, what everybody wants to do Monday morning. Like, is there something worse than having a 9-to-5 job that dulls your life, that kills your soul, and every Monday you gotta wake up at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, and get to, yes. When you have to get up out of bed Monday morning to have a cavity filled, that's probably a little worse than even your day-to-day miserable job. So, I go to the dentist, and I like the people. It's local, and I know what's happening. There's no what shall we say? There's no surprise coming in. It was 7 weeks ago, when I literally had not been to the dentist. I finally go back, and I'm just sitting there in the chair before anything happens, and I realize, okay, they're going to take some x-rays, and they're going to put stuff in my mouth that makes me gag, because I've got a tough gag reflex. They're also, no jokes, and they're also going to find God knows what in my mouth, because I was naughty, and we had the pandemic, and we moved, and all this, so I haven't gone in so long. And I know I'm pretty good about brushing once a day, but of course you're supposed to brush twice a day, and use this, and use the water pick, and I'm like, no, I brush, boom. And it's not like I eat only tree bark and healthy things. I like snacks. I like sugar. So I know there's just there's Auschwitz brewing in my gums, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dreading. I'm like, okay, go in there. And dreading, of course, the cleaning. The first real tooth cleaning I've had in 3.5 years. Because that's going to be, I'm sure, brutal too. There was a point when we were living in Colorado that I was having my teeth cleaned every, 3 times a year, every 4 months, because plaque buildup, and I got a bridge and all this stuff. So it's like, and when you do that, it's not pleasant. But sometimes if you're brushing and you're doing some flossing, well, you get to every few weeks, it's not so bad. But if they have to start scaling your face after a long time away from the dental chair, you will tell if this were the CIA, or if this were the dentist in Marathon Man, you would tell him everything. You'd be like, is it safe? Yes, it's safe. Is it safe? Yeah, it's safe. It's safe. Yeah. And they're not even doing anything. They're just literally taking metal, and somehow it's kind of like, if I push this hard, am I touching the nerve? If I push a little harder, am I touching the nerve? I push all the way up into the nerve. Yes. Okay, get the crud out of there, please. Please, get the crud out of there. Oh. And so,
Be a drama code.
oh no, that clinging was no fun for Dave. I talked about this last time, or 2 weeks ago, when I mentioned the funny part was they have, she was doing it by hand, like the whole uppers was being done literally with a tool that she's picking. And then she turns to the assistant, I don't know what we call them, a nurse or one of the hygienist with her. And she says, hey, it's the other machine, the one machine that they have available. And because it was being used by another patient, by the other dentist in the firm. And she says, I'll go check. So by the time she got through with my uppers, glory of glories, the machine that they could have used was available. So they wheel it, they bring that in, and it's still a very unpleasant experience, but it goes faster. And it also has like air and water that's coming through, so they can move quicker. That's the only other good thing. So in other words, it's kicking and digging and pushing, like, is that your nerve? It's kind of like, it's your nerve, it's the next nerve, it's the next nerve. And it takes half the time, and therefore, significantly less pain, even though there's still pain. And I'm hoping it does as good a job. I do get the feeling that if you've got a dentist looking in your mouth and going like bit by bit by bit, it's probably a little bit more detailed than when they're just using a thing to go clear around. I don't know. But the nice thing is, by the third time I'm going back to the dentist to get the rest of the work done, there's nothing else coming, right? They've done, they did one or two more x-rays that they had to do. But I knew my cleaning was finished. They did it last time. I knew I already had one cavity filled because it was kind of an urgent thing the first time. I go, okay, I got one more thing to happen. One more bill to answer, and then, right? And then they're not suddenly going to go in there looking and say, oh, I didn't see that. And we're going to have to, pull your uvula out. No. Just get the drill. And I already knew that they could use, and they do use, the numbing gel before they even put the Novocaine in.
Laughing gas.
No, I didn't do nothing. Although when I woke up, my anus was bleeding.
Oh,
so
that's a normal night for you.
Basically. So I know they do that. So yeah, as much as I'm a needle phobe.
How come you're back at the dentist now?
What do you mean?
I know. How come you're talking about the dentist?
Because that was on Monday.
Oh.
This is literally, it's only 5 days ago that I went to the dentist. Oh, here comes the Joyce's sneezels. That's one. There goes two. No, come on, you're Jewish. There's gonna be a third. There's gotta be a third in there somewhere. Really?
How did I get bruises here?
Yeah, go tell the world that Joyce has bruises on her legs. How did I get bruises on my legs? I don't know. How did you get? Oh, good Lord.
Don't look.
Well, no. What did you do?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Somebody is very happy that you survived the dentist.
And I survived third shot at the dentist. And meanwhile, there was still an element of uncertainty. That's the word I was looking for.
Hold it like that.
Because she had mentioned the last time that there was a very mild fracture in one of my molar things down here. And I said, we got to kind of really look at that. And do we fill that? Do we crown it? Do we do this? Or do we just sort of wait a while?
Let me show what David looks like. Yeah. No, wait. Okay, hold on. I know you got this. This is
when we should set it up. Let's set it up properly.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to make me feel better, about this whole dentist thing and then all this work we're doing in the semester, one of the things we don't really do a lot because it's still sort of pandemic and, don't have a lot of money because we just bought a house. So we how does this turn on?
It's turned on.
Oh, it's turned on. No, but we go to Kohl's or Marshall's or one of these places.
Marshall's.
And we find.
Just tilt him and we'll tilt him. And then tilt the box. Okay, hold him in front. Okay, now hold on. And then just tilt him forward if you ever, go back. Just tilt the box. There you go.
Come on, he can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen these things, and I know you have, outside carpet stores.
Whoa!
Yeah. Let me pull him back a little bit.
Yeah, just have to tilt the thing.
You can actually get.
Woo!
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Hours.
Woo, David! Whoa! Woo! Look at him go! Oh my God, that's the most he's ever done. Look.
Beautiful. And look like it's sort of like a bow. When he finally comes up, it's the reverse of a bow. But it's like, ta-da! It's like, I can do this.
All you have to do is move the box a little, woo, and tilt it. Yes, see, tilt it, and see, and then up he goes, whoop, and then tilt him up. Bring it up, bring the box up.
And we had
God.
tried him
Woo!
with just a battery. And the things I read about this thing was that, because I was, the idea of having one of these for your desk is so moronic but so beautiful. I was like, yes. And then I read the reviews and it's like, it doesn't really, it falls over, it doesn't hang up, you have to
the
boot
first
it.
place we saw it was Target, and it was full price, and then they said that it didn't work well without the adapter. You had to buy the adapter.
Yeah. So Joyce buys this for me. I had no idea.
I enjoy scouring the Target, Marshall's, Home Goods for the unusual.
For this, because I was like, it's a great idea, but it doesn't really work. And how often are we going to use it? But she gets it. And then we put the battery in, and it goes a little, We try another battery, and it goes, And so Joyce was like, you know what? We need the adapter for, which costs more than this, by the way. So we need an adapter for it.
You could use the adapter for anything.
Yeah, it's an AC adapter, so it's always good to have them anyway. So we go on Amazon, we buy an adapter, it comes in the mail, and I swear to you, we still have even the battery in it, but when you put this with a real adapter,
oh my goodness,
this is like Dave on Viagra.
Ooh, watch it. Ooh, look at him go. Wow, David, you got the magic. Look at that.
I do.
Whoa!
And after, if this lasts more than 4 hours, I would call a doctor. But yes. Is this not?
And he's so proud of himself. He's like, I did it.
And he's so happy. The smiling, wavy man. I have the box.
I wonder why they're mostly red. Like why? I've seen some other color ones.
You have?
Yeah. No, not like this. Like in the real world, I've seen yellow or green.
Well, here's the yellow.
Red. You were going to tell us a story of how they came to be, right? And there's a little book.
Look, even more than this, if you ever get tired of just looking at this.
That's the instructions.
First of all, it comes with a tube. What was this for?
No, that was how it was rolled.
Oh, it was rolled
so
in.
We didn't get torn.
This is how Wavy Man gets his drug intake.
No, that's how come. Think about it. If you just fold that up and it gets creased, it won't work. So they had to roll his little wavy sock,
So look at it. You actually get like a 30-page booklet of wacky, wavy, inflatable tube guy history and uses, and then the back cover is magnificent. This is like there's just so much wrong with what's going on right here in a beautiful way. But this is real, folks. This is how, as much as things have gone wrong, there's pandemics, people hate politics, people do this. We live in a world where you can have this on a desk, and it comes with a booklet like this.
Well, it has to explain it.
And they don't call it some special name. It's just wacky, wavy, inflatable tube guy. That's literally the name of it.
That's what his name is. I mean, why would you call it something else?
Well, because like everything else, you call stuff that you put on your teeth to clean it toothpaste.
Yeah.
You don't call it like stuff you put on your teeth to have your teeth clean.
Maybe some people do.
I probably do.
Yeah.
So let's read a little bit of wacky, waving, inflatable tube guy history and uses from Running Press.
The pictures after you read it.
Oh, this comes from Philadelphia. I can only kind of show because I don't want to ruin the spine of the book. But let's have an introduction. Oh, here he is. Look how happy. He's almost like a demented carrot in this particular one.
He looks happy. He looks very proud,
You see him everywhere.
Yes, I do.
Gas stations. Yes. Used car dealerships. Furniture outlets. But you wouldn't believe the wacky, wavy, inflatable tube guy's larger-than-life origins.
I would not.
This denizen of the strip mall parking lot was born as a Caribbean artist's dream.
What?
Created in America as a gigantic 60-foot-tall art spectacle.
Really?
And just celebrated his 20th birthday in 2016.
Oh, happy birthday.
So when you first started seeing him like 20 years ago, it was new. It was really new. Now you hold in your hands the world's smallest wacky, wavy, inflatable tube guy. No, believe me. On my honeymoon night, I was holding the world's smallest wacky, inflatable tube guy. All right, here's the origin. The tube guy began as a twinkle in a Trinidadian artist's eyes. Peter Minshall, or Minshall was the guy's name. I assume it's not the same Trinidadian guy who was found on a raft for a catch.
He was Dominican. That's a different island, honey.
Yeah. No, he was found in Trinidad.
Yeah, but he was Dominican.
Since the 1970s, Minshall has been designing colossal costumes worn by parade performers in Trinidad's famously colorful Carnival Festival. Each year, his creations grew larger and were even were eventually likened to moving sculptures.
Whoa.
As Menschel's visionary designs grew, so too did his worldwide fame. And by the 1990s, he was in high demand. He was tapped to help create the 1992 Barcelona Olympics opening ceremony.
Was that the wavy man?
Well, I guess something like it. His colorful, 20-foot-tall humanoid costumes were worn by performers, and 4 years later, he was invited to lead the design team at the '96 Atlanta Olympics.
Wow.
So while experimenting with using massive inflatable walls as projection screens, Menschel conceived an inflatable man that would dance as air.
What? Show me. Oh no. Yeah, but that's nice. Like, what is it? The little guy is the doll, or the?
Yeah, he would be controlling this giant inflatable man.
That's not gonna happen.
Just don't look up, sir. Just don't look up.
That's not gonna happen.
It probably did. Doron Gazit. Oh, that sounds like an Israeli.
Yeah.
Doron Gazit, another artist on the design team who conveniently happened to specialize in inflatable art,
Of course.
began collaborating with Menschel to realize this vision. It was during this design process that the two artists realized they had something special brewing and began to push the limits of possibility and eventually coupled humongous fans, I mean, not fans of them, like actual fans, blowy fans,
Really?
with lengths of fabric sewn together in tubes to create the world's first iteration.
Oh, tube man.
Whoever wrote this was really, of the waving figures we know and love today,
Wow.
a 60-foot-tall giant with 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head full of streamers. They created a dozen of these behemoths, undulating behemoths,
60 foot.
that went on to steal the show at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics opening ceremony. Oh my God, there's more to this. It's magnificent. And then there's this.
Oh, let me see. Wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
In 1998, at the Grammy.
Yeah.
At the Grammy Awards, your mini waving tube inflatable guy's ancestors got to grace the Grammy stage with arguably the most popular Latino singer of the 90s, Ricky Martin.
Whoa.
Bailamos. They
Oh,
literally wrote
wow.
Bailamos.
Let me see them.
This book is brilliant. Whoever wrote
Let
this.
me see that they're in there. Or
Here.
I want to see if they're. Is that the end?
No, there's more to the book.
Where's Ricky Martin?
Well, no, they just mentioned, that was show it. That picture, that drawing I just showed you of the guy with the microphone, that was Ricky Martin. It's not the best likeness of him.
No, could you? I can't see it. I can't. I don't know where you are.
Well, here. So I kind of skipped over some of the stuff, guy. Let's see. But this book is real. He was at the 1998 30-second Super Bowl halftime show.
Wow.
A bunch of multicolored dancing tube people joined the Temptations,
Oh my
Boys
God.
II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, Queen Latifah, and the Grambling State University Marching Band
I love it.
for a Motown-themed performance. Well, he's colorful, you know.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
I just thought he stood outside of car washes. I'm very happy to know he has more illustrious.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's major. And now you have your very own Wacky Waving Inflatable Tube guy. I'm going to read a little bit more of this book because now we get the
They
important
show
thing.
what you do with it, right?
Uses. There are so many different uses for the world's smallest wacky waving inflatable tube guy, and every one of them is a hit.
Wow.
Here are a few
That's really overselling.
to try. Okay. Oh, personal marketing tool.
Yes.
Tape a business card to your tube guy
Yeah.
and watch the crowd gather around.
Yes.
What, your desk?
That's a great idea, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just write your name right on it in black marker. You can kind of write on the red thing in black marker for some narcissistic entertainment.
Yeah.
Whoever, genius. Okay.
I think that's a yes. That's definitely, we'll try that one.
It can function as a scarecrow for your desktop plants.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we've had that problem.
Scare away cats, flies, and those creeping coworkers that are strangely interested in your plants.
I think that's great.
Yeah. Dance instructor. Pay close attention to this gyrating virtuoso. Maybe you could learn a thing or two, ya bum.
Look, woo, that's great.
Yeah,
I like that. What?
of course. Most important one, babysitter.
What?
Provide endless hours of entertainment for your infant It's got to be better than that Ralphie album, right?
I agree.
You might want to hire a real babysitter. In addition, though, the tube guy has no brain, opposable thumbs, or babysitting experience. So there is a caveat emptor in this one. Oh, you're gonna love it. No, you won't like it. It's also a grandma sitter.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
This is brilliant. Provide endless hours of entertainment for your grandma. It's got to be better than that Tom Jones album, right? No, probably isn't actually. But
maybe with the Tom Jones and a little bit of scotch.
White noise for your office naps, or your only friend. Not really, but it might be a better friend than most. He'll listen and nod and dance.
Yeah, that's true.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
most of the people I know are not good dancers, so they can't wave like that.
Yeah.
So
you know, I move reasonably well, but I can't dance. Yeah, look at him go. Look at this. Lambada.
No, you're facing the wrong way. You're not facing the.
There we go. La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
No, give him a nice song.
Oh, yeah, wait, let's see. What's the song? What's a good song? Here, give us a good beat. On the 885th episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife Joyce, and wacky inflatable tube guy. Let's see if I wiggle it if you really get into it. I'm thinking of canceling all the rest of the stuff on the show today and just having 2.5 more hours of that.
I think, let's say it's good if you have to do a wee break. You have to go make a wee.
I can just say it. Yes.
And then, he would mesmerize the people. They'd be like, whoa. And then at the end, he'd be like, whoa. And then you'd have time.
Ole, yeah. Or, since he is like an inflatable tube, if I can't get up and get away, there's room for at least some of the urine in the tube.
Electrocute yourself.
That would be bad. Anyway, joining us, hopefully, momentarily or shortly, will be...
I'll go down and bring up your tea.
Oh, thank you very much. Not me, actually. We'll be joining the great, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sullivan in the Daverhood.
Is your guest in the waiting room?
Not yet, so that's why I'm waiting and hoping, and just making sure.
Phone, I could plug, yeah. Where's your phone, Moroni?
Oh, I thought I brought it in. I should have brought it in. Do you see it on the desk here?
I can't see it, but it doesn't mean it's not there.
Maybe I put stuff on it, which might not be smart. Ooh, something beeped. I don't know what beeped, but something beeped.
I think it was the xylophone.
Oh, could have been. Okay, so we're hoping that our guest, KT Sullivan, will be joining us very shortly in the Daverhood to talk to Rabbi Sullivan about her life, her music, her career, all of that. Plus, we will have our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Plus, what else will we do? We'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, and we will talk about Greeley crimes and old times, all of that on Dave's Gone By today, March 11th, 2023. Just a reminder that you can find out more about the show and watch our archives at davesgoneby.org, davesgoneby.org. You can also see some of our, all of our archives actually at archive.org, a non-profit website devoted to collecting art and entertainment from the last centuries. And when we have a channel there, it's the Dave's Gone By channel on archive.org, plus castbox.fm, which is where our audio archives reside. Everything we've done, but the audio only at castbox.fm. I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to drop a little reminder to her. I'm hoping she's not having trouble logging on.
She probably would tell you.
Yeah, right.
Is she in the same coast? Yeah, she's performing in a club in New York.
Oh,
so
yeah.
She's Eastern time.
Dying-the-Wool New Yorker. So let's go on Facebook again.
Yeah.
And try and catch her there.
Sometimes you go to log on the Zoom and it decides like, hey, it's time to update.
Oh, well, yeah.
We've all been there.
And not to mention, so far this new, because we're also using a whole new
system.
Yeah, well, a whole new Zoom link and Zoom stuff to get on. So let me make sure that I don't have a message. I don't have a message from her. So let me just
You emailing?
I'm messaging on Facebook because I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Hoping, wishing, and hoping, and thinking, and
Well,
pray.
if you're stuck, maybe the rabbi can have a deep spiritual conversation with that little red man.
Oh, that would be interesting. He's kind of like a.
He could try to talk with him and engage him. I mean, they would be good friends.
We can try it. We can try it. Maybe. Let me stay on. Let's talk a little bit more. Just until the moment when.
See if there's any.
And then maybe I'll bring the rabbi on just in case to talk to our wacky wavy inflatable tube guy. What else we got? So I talked about my teeth this week, of course, and I don't have to go back to the dentist for.
You can talk about the food.
The bread. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So
it's just we attract oddity. I think that's
we do. Doesn't matter where we go. We'll go to a supermarket. We'll go to a specialty grocery store. We'll go to and somehow the odder people gravitate to us. Whether they're people on the line at the market or sometimes even the people who are behind the counters at the market. So here's the thing. We're at the place where we shop a lot, like 2 or 3 times a week. We go to this place because it has really good produce and organic stuff and fruit and vegetables, which would count for produce. And my wife gets most of her stuff there. And sometimes I get stuff there too. As I've mentioned, it's a place where even though I'm very, very far from a vegetarian, their sandwiches are so good that I'll be like, I don't mind eating. This is perfectly fine. I don't have to have meat with every meal, and this is really, really good. So we'll get stuff there. It has a market, and then it's got a place where they make you sandwiches and food. It's called Mom's, and we go there pretty often. So we go there this time, and I'm talking with the get that ready. I'm talking with the guy behind the counter. And all the people behind the counter are like these young vegetarian hippie types. And they're very nice, but you can tell they're lacking some kind of vitamins or whatever in their diet. They all have that look like they've been in a cult for 5 years, which they possibly have. So when I got built to this. Okay? So we're talking with them about, hey, vegetable stuff and this and
vegetable stuff.
Well, the fact that you're
I think this guy.
How did it come up?
No, so they all have their little shtick. Everybody makes the sandwich different. This guy likes to always tweak it a little bit to give it a little bit more flavor. Like the other guy's like, I put tomatoes on that. How did that work? He's like, it was good. He likes to just give it a little oomph,
Yeah, and then there's like African American woman there who makes like the giant perfect set.
So they used to say with my nana, like when my nana was the server with the heavy hand, she would put a lot of some people just give a tiny little scoop, nana would give a big scoop. Yeah.
So she's really great. We always look forward to her. And this guy was kind of cool. So and he's asking me, what kind of cheese I want, because it's like a Chipotle thing. They take the bread and layer all these different veggie things on it, and veganaise, and mushrooms that are flavored to taste like bacon, and this kind of, believe it or not, it's really good. So he's asking me if there's, do I want everything? What do I want on there? And I was like,
we messed up the cheese. We went left to right our side. He went right to left his side.
Oh yeah, we had a whole big thing about what's the
Colby
orange
Jack.
cheese? Cheddar versus
Colby Jack.
Yeah, Colby Jack. And I'm looking, and the stuff that looks like cheddar, because it's bright orange, is actually the Colby Jack.
Yeah.
And he's saying, well, this is left to right, but his left to right as opposed to our right to left. And then the cheese looks different. Yeah, but you can tell how I'm sort of stalling here. The cheese looks left to right.
Yeah.
And so we get through this and we're laughing about it. And then he says, anything else you want? And I was like, well, if you have any shrimp or something, what did I say?
Yeah, something like that.
Some ridiculous sardines, something to put on it, because this is a completely vegetarian, vegan salad bar. There's no even though they sell meat
vegan,
in the market.
It's not vegan, it's
Well, they have regular cheese, you're right.
Yeah.
But they don't have any meat or any seafood or anything. It's just vegetables and sauces and that crap. So I make the joke. I was like, put on there, and he's like, I happen to like seafood. I said, I love seafood. I'll have it. He said, in fact, he was gonna eat seafood 2 nights earlier.
His girlfriend left it for him at 4
Oh yes,
o'clock.
yeah. Tell the story because I don't remember it now.
No, he was gonna eat his. So the girlfriend came and left him dinner at 4 o'clock, but left it out. And he got home at 9 and he was going to eat it.
But anything out of the fridge, she didn't put it in the fridge or anything. She left out
It was
seafood.
Raw.
Yeah, raw. Right.
Raw clams.
They were, no, they were the other thing.
Oysters.
She left him mussels.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But, and some mussels, okay. So they've been out of the fridge for a few hours, because he brought it home, not cooked,
Yeah.
And he said, he looked at them and he said, well, they're hairy. And she said,
he asked us if we've ever seen a hairy mussel.
Which you don't ask me if I've ever seen a hairy mussel.
I tried to cover your mouth with your mask.
Didn't work.
No.
And of course I make a hairy clam joke because I had to. And I said, yes, I've seen my, oh, for feck's sake.
What happened?
Hold on, I've got to send her the meeting. This might help. Hold on one moment.
The meeting link, yeah.
And password.
Password is important.
Let's try this. Because I wasn't allowing her in.
Yeah, she needs the password.
But it should be an automatic.
Oh, no, I hope you didn't do it this week. You had to take off that they had to have a...
Oh, maybe, I didn't realize, yeah, I just sort of automatically loaded up. Well, I just gave her the ID and password, so maybe...
but unless she has a .edu, she may not be able to enter.
Really?
Yeah, we had to fix that last time,
remember? Oh, son of a gun. Yeah, last week we didn't have any guests, so it didn't matter.
No, but the first time we did it, we had to go in and change it so that...
if this will work. I might have to start and stop again.
Yeah. Or just have her call in on the phone then. I know.
So yeah, because we're using this whole different system and this whole Zoom thing.
You have to go in and click where it's they can't.
I once the thing is started, I don't know if I can change it.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna try.
Or let me see security. Can you just?
Let's see security. Let me see if I can change.
I don't want to be seen because I look like.
Allow participants to.
Okay, wait. Let me just see. Stop doing that.
All right.
My head's there. Oh no, yeah.
I don't think it's in there. So folks, what might happen is, in order to get the guest. Oh, wait. Here we go.
Good.
Here we go. I might have to send that info to David and to.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we fixed it on all of them, so that just greet her and then tell her who's coming in. I'll help you find him. He's probably roaming around the house now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in Rabbi Saul Sullivan, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches, for talking to cabaret artiste and Broadway denizen KT Sullivan. Let's hear some Rabbi Saul intro. I would play some KT Sullivan, but copyright won't let us. So here's some Rabbi Saul music. Diggly-diggly-dee, kissing the blargy stone. Oh, this is shalom to you. This is me, Rabbi Saul Sullivan, and we're going to be talking momentarily to the delightful and the most talented KT Sullivan, who is joining us in the Daverhood to talk about her life in music and cabaret. Also, the fact that you can go see her this Thursday night. She's going to be at Pangea with an Irish-related show the day before St. Patrick's Day. So, we're going to see if she can unmute, because we can't hear you, and we can't... Oh, very good. Are you going to have a video, though, or are we just going to be here?
Well, I hope to have a video. How do I do that?
Is there a little camera thing that you can click on where it says, like, it looks like a camera?
Is she on her phone, Rabbi?
Are you on a telephone or are you on a computer thingy?
I'm on a little mini iPad.
Oh, I don't wear mini pads anymore. My period stopped ages ago. Yeah.
And see, look on the bottom. There should be a little camera that says start or stop video. It looks like a little movie recording camera.
On your thing, do you see an icon for video?
I don't know how to get my icons up because I don't see any icons.
Oh, if you just touch your tablet, just touch the screen.
I'm touching the screen right now.
And does it say?
Does it bring a drop down? Oh, wait, here, maybe if I do this to you.
Yeah, yes, there you go.
Okay. Okay, start. Okay, yes, now that's good.
Here we go. Shalom to you.
Good morning.
You dressed alike. You have the same.
She's got a red beret, just like I do,
Oh, look at that. We're coordinated. Okay, we're coordinated. Now I see you. Good. And we are coordinated.
Yes, I am Rabbi Sal Solomon, the founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And this is the delightful KT Sullivan, who is, I am guessing, since you're doing the Irish thing on Thursday, you're an Irish Catholic person, yes?
Well, my great-grandparents went to Oklahoma, which wasn't even a state yet. And you can't be a Catholic with no priests. There are no priests there. There's just, they were, so no, in my great-great-grandmother's things, I found a rosary bead, but that's all I've ever heard from it. No Catholicism. And eventually a Baptist preacher knocks on the door. And so we became Baptists, but I'm not a Baptist now. It's a great music when you're growing up.
Oh,
but I don't really believe, I like going to the Catholic. I like to go into all churches. I like to go to synagogues too. I like all things spiritual.
yes. Yeah, I can leave the others, but the synagogues, yes. Let me ask you.
I went to the Wailing Wall when I was in Jerusalem.
Did you feel anything? Was it a spirit? Everybody says they go to Jerusalem, especially Jews, but even non-Jews, there's something they feel.
Something there. There's something there.
Did you feel?
And the women have their section over there on the right. And there was a woman wailing. She was really wailing, and she had a baby next to her in the carriage. And the baby was wailing too. The baby was crying and crying and crying and crying. So as the mother wailed, she'd go like this to the baby. Mother. So anyway, it was a good experience.
There is something annoying about babies crying that is less annoying about adults crying. I know it
was moving. It was actually, I found it quite moving. And the Garden of Gethsemane, that view of Jerusalem on the Mount, God, I want to go back.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. I've never been, but I definitely will. I know. Me. I go to Miami. It's close enough. So, but we're here with KT. Let me ask you though. You mentioned Oklahoma, and were you actually born in a place called Boggy Depot? Because that's what my proctologist calls my anus.
You're good. You're good. That's where I grew up. The closest hospital was Colgate. They mine coal there. So that's where I was born, in Colgate. But actually, Boggy Depot, it's near the Texas border. It's around the Red River. And it's a great place to grow up. There's one-room schoolhouse I was in until the 4th grade.
Were you educated in a one-room schoolhouse?
Yes. What was that like? A potbelly stove. I had one other person in the 1st grade with me, and my brother had his sister in the 2nd grade with him. And my brother in the 4th grade had the other sister with him. They were basically maybe three or four families that got together and had a school. And,
so what were the ages of the students in this one?
Okay, so well, they used to have, before I went, but the couple before they actually went through high school. But when I started going, it was just the 6th grade. And they were like 12 people in the room, with a potbelly stove in the middle. We all get around the potbelly stove and read. And he was a wonderful teacher. We had a good, my brother is a doctor, so I guess he did pretty well in those first 4 years.
I just wonder how you can. Is it almost like individual tutorials? Like,
in fact, that's why what made it better. It made it. You really got attention. You weren't lost in a group of 30 or 40 or 50 like kids are today. You got attention on reading, and I hear that reading scores are really down now in schools. I'm very sad to hear how kids aren't reading now. But we were reading and getting that special attention on how to read, and the important things I think were gotten.
Wow, that is amazing. So how did you go from that particular kind of schooling? When you went to high school, was it a more normative thing or what?
Yeah, eventually it was a bigger thing. But I went to the University of Oklahoma. I kind of missed that attention, that special attention, and now I get it because I'm in show business. I get the attention again.
Of course. Yeah.
I was lost in this big high school that I eventually went to, but then I started to read more. So there's good things in being lost too. You come into your own world and what you want to do. So if I've been caught up, I wasn't caught up in popularity or cheerleader and all that stuff. Other people are. I was into reading, and so that helped me. So maybe it's good I got lost.
Yeah. Well, I went to a very Jewish school, so we don't have cheerleaders. We actually had a group that would make people more depressed. If people were starting to look happy, we was like, no, that's not. We would really line up and say things and do dances that would make them sad and upset. And it was like, made it much more Jewish.
You know that's all is what you have in common. I've always thought the Jews and the Irish were very alike.
We suffer.
And they suffer, and they've been around the world. Everywhere you go, there are Jews and there are Irish. They went everywhere. They were thrown out of every place and went everywhere. They're everywhere. I was talking to someone last night that said, about that. He's Jewish. This wonderful Michael Guerin, who plays at the Roxy downtown, and he was talking about how Jewish music and Irish music are actually alike in their and also the Irish music is always. There's a great quote by G.K. Chesterton that said the Irish are the men that God made man. The Irish are the men that God made mad. For all their wars are merry and all their songs are sad. Isn't that good?
And if you think about it, Jews, well, no, our wars are not particularly merry. Nothing is merry about it. Jews, we don't have merry anything. No,
I must say, I was alive during that whole Israel, that first founding of Israel. It was kind of merry at the beginning, wasn't it?
Wait. You were not alive in 1948.
That's true. 53, though, close.
All right,
and so when I was growing up, it was sort of merry what was going on over there. It was exciting, and the birth of Israel was quite exciting and merry, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, please, absolutely. Of course, it was founded on the ashes of the Holocaust, which is not the merriest.
And yes, that's true. There's a lot of sadness too in the Irish with the issue. My friend Malachi McCourt. There's a wonderful article in the Times yesterday. Malachi McCourt, I think he's 92, and there's a great quote. I love Malachi; it's very funny. But one of my favorite quotes from him, because the Irish are great writers, as you know. The four Nobel Prizes for literature are for writers born in Dublin. It's the only city in the world that has 4 Nobel Prizes for literature. So in other words, they're great writers. They took the English language. But the way that Malachi puts it is, they stuff this strange language down our throats and we spit it out in stars.
That's mad. Irish quote. That's it. Yeah. I mean, with all those Nobel Prizes from Dublin, imagine how many there'd be if they named it Triplin. I don't have no idea what that means. No. We're talking with KT Sullivan.
But the oppression. You have that. Yeah.
Now, and on to happier, merrier topics, as it were. When did you? Was it in college? Did you do theater in college, or did you wait till after to start doing music and singing and all that?
Well, my mother's a singer. My family's singing, so I was singing from the very beginning, and that's where the church came in. The Baptist church has great songs, and I'm glad that I got great singing in my background. Great singing. And my mother was a choir director, and now she's a composer. She's 90. She'll be 93 on May 22nd.
That means congratulations. That's a happy. Yeah.
Well, what's great about it, and it deserves congratulations, is that she still sings beautifully. She writes poetry. Sometimes I call her up and she says, "I just written a new poem." She's so excited, and that's the definition of youth, is that you're looking forward. You have something to look forward to, and something exciting in the present, in the future.
Is your papa still, or did you lose your papa?
He died in 2009. He was a great supporter. He loved my mother's music. He encouraged her to do it, which is another great thing you have. It's important to have a life mate who encourages what you do. So he was good at that. He had a wonderful Irish tenor voice, but his pitch wasn't great, and he had no sense of rhythm.
Are you sure he wasn't Jewish?
Well, there's 8 kids too, but so no sense of rhythm. That rhythm method didn't work either. But he all of us, there are 8 of us, and only one of us doesn't have a sense of rhythm or pitch. The rest of us 4 of us are professional singers. My sister Stacy has this wonderful Peggy Lee show. You might have heard of her, Stacy Sullivan. Heather Sullivan is a headliner on the cruise ships, and I'll be doing a cruise with her in November from Athens to Rome. And then last year we went from Ireland from Dublin to Dublin, around Dublin to the top, the Belfast and the Giant's Causeway down around, went to Wales. Anyway, it was a great cruise last year. So we do cruises. I take my mother as my roommate, and we have a family reunion on a boat.
Wait, is your mom going on the cruise?
Yes, she was with me last July in Ireland. Isn't that great? And when my sister brings her on at her show, my sister does the big rooms, and she brings my mother as guest star up to the stage, of course, and she sings beautifully. Of course, they get a standing ovation immediate.
Just for her getting to the stage, people are
I said, Mother, you want no help. She doesn't want any help getting to the stage because she wants all those people to see that she can make it on her own.
You know?
And my sister was performing, and there's lots of condo circuit besides the Florida circuit. There is a Phoenix circuit for the condo circuit. And my mother was guest.
A Phoenix?
Well, Phoenix, a lot of retirees, in other words. When I say condo circuit, it's the retiree circuit, which a lot of my friends, remember Bruce Adler was a wonderful performer. He used to perform.
He was on this program. Bruce Adler was one of the first guests I ever talked to. Yeah.
Oh, Bruce was great. I miss him. He used to live in the other building. I'm here at Manhattan Plaza. He used to my sister's building. But we were in The Boys from Syracuse together, directed by George Abbott.
Now, wait, you got to stop there also, because I've got to ask, who died that you were able to get an apartment in Manhattan Plaza? How did you get it? Every performer, every broke person wants to be in Manhattan.
I know. I've been here since '97, and you can see my room here. There's my piano back there. You see my piano?
Is that a spinette, the black thing in the back? Yes, see,
that's my piano.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of a rainy day, but you can sort of see. I guess you can't see.
Oh, yes, I can see New York.
And that's the Freedom Tower. And here's now, as you probably know, so you probably know Mark.
Freedom Tower would be like 2 miles down.
You should have Mark Nather on your show. This is Mark Nather. We did the Gershwin show together. You see Mark Nather?
Of course, Mark Nather was on the program a couple of years ago. We had Mark.
He would be. I love Mark, and I have got great times. We've gone to Paris together. That's Mabel Mercer. You probably know that I'm head of the Mabel Mercer Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't you, since you bring that up, can you tell us it's about supporting cabaret, but also a tour of KT Sullivan's Manhattan. Can we see your bedroom?
Now this is the kitchen. The view there too, and that's the other building which Bruce Adler lived in. So my friend was in chorus line. My best friend Bradley Jones chorus line, right next to it. And here's the Noel Coward show I did at Carnegie Hall with
Stuart Ross. Oh, Steve Ross. Sorry.
You're right, Steve Ross. The list here is amazing. You'll see Barbara Cook, Bobby Short, Dorothy Loudon. It was a lot of people who aren't with us anymore, but it was a great time. So now, since you asked,
that's cool.
So anyway, I haven't made my bed, so I'm going to take you in there. But I will show you. I'm just having my coffee. But this is a portrait that was done by a Bangladeshi artist of my husband and me. This is over my bed, which is not made yet. But this Tommy Tune did this giraffe. Isn't that fun? So Tommy Tune, a giraffe. And here I am when I was starring at Rainbow and Stars. That was on 49th Street and 50th Street there at the entrance of Rainbow and Stars back in '96. This was the first show I did out in Los Angeles. My friend and artist did this of me in 1981.
Wow.
And there I am in 1981. It's the young KT Sullivan.
You really look the same, basically.
Well, great. That's nice, Saul. Thank you. There's Mark Nadler again. It's Gershwin.
Right. There's me in the photo somehow.
And that's Margaret Whiting.
Oh, Margaret Whiting. Yes. These are all cabaret people for folks who might not know.
Yes.
Whiting,
but for folks who aren't cabaret people, that's Sting there. I did 3 Penny Opera with Sting.
Right.
There's Sting. There's Mabel Mercer and Bobby Short. This will give you an idea of how my young mom, look how young she looks. Doesn't she look young?
Well, I'm seeing a wall here. Hold on.
Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. This is.
That's her. Yeah.
Do you see my mom?
It looks like she's holding a cricket bat, but she's actually wailing there.
She is very active. She is very active, but that's how young she is. Now there's the other building. There are Manhattan. There's the Hudson, and out the balcony you can actually see the East River too. So that's my feather boas.
Yes, I love. Gotta see that, of course.
You gotta have feather boas if you're in cabaret, and I'm gonna have a yoga session here at noon. But I do all my. See, I started playing the piano, Saul, during pandemic. So now I'm every Friday night I'm at the Algonquin playing and singing and playing. Before the pandemic, I just sang. Now you can see the East River. Hello.
Look at that. Look, oh my God, look at that. People say, they can say all these terrible things about New York, but this is still, look at New York, for God's sake.
Yeah, this is inspiring, isn't it?
Oh, are you there? I think,
Hudson.
yeah, oh.
And on a clear day, you can see the George Washington Bridge up there. Okay, I must be losing my signal. I'll go back in. It's a little chilly too. But yes, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very lucky to be here since 1997. And everyone, you're right, everyone wants in here, but I'm very happy. As I say, people stay here. You don't leave until you leave feet first. They say not until you leave feet first.
And there are people, since the pandemic and stuff, and people have been saying New York has been going downhill the last couple of years.
Well, yeah,
have you felt that, or is New York still basically the same, or have you felt it's gone down a little bit, even though it's still New York?
Well, I must say, I used to walk home a lot late at night, and I don't do that anymore. So that's a little bit. I close that shade. A little better lighting, isn't it?
Yeah, you look fabulous. I'm listening to, but at the same time, I may have to type a code in to Leslie and David so that they're able to get on. Just like
good. Okay.
So I am being rude, but I'm being.
Oh,
rude.
this is better. This is better. It's better lighting, isn't it?
Oh, now you look great. Oh, with the glow. Yeah. You swear you look like you did in 1988.
I'm glad you said. Thank you for saying that. It makes me feel better. But I'd love to. No, I feel New York opening up because every Friday I'm at the Algonquin and people are coming in and they're singing songs. I love the sing-alongs. So yeah. I feel it coming back. I do feel it coming back. So I don't want to be negative about safety. I think it's coming back.
Which is a wonderful thing. I'm gonna need my double glasses just to see something here. There we go. All right. We're talking with KT Sullivan, by the way, here in the Daverhood. I'm Rabbi Saul Sullivan. So let me ask you, you showed over your bed, and I don't want to get sad or anything, but over your bed you have this picture of you smooching your husband, Stephen Downey, who passed just a couple of months ago. I mean,
it was December of 21, so it's been.
I'm so sorry. Oh, 21. I'm so sorry, but yeah.
But it does feel like yesterday, Saul, because I talk to him every day, and he was very much part of my life. We used to have a lot of parties up here, and he was a great host. He always made sure people got a drink. Always made sure that people connected. He loved connecting people. Oh, you should know so and so, and trying to help young artists. He was very supportive. So now I don't have parties. I used to have a big grand piano in that area I showed you. Now I have a smaller piano that I showed you because I'm not going to have the big pianos. I gave that piano, which was given to me by Bart Howard, who wrote "Fly Me to the Moon." He gave me his big grand piano.
Wow!
But since I'm not doing parties up here anymore, I gave it to my brother, who has a community center in Colorado, and it's used. And I did a concert there last summer, and so I now I know it has a good home. It will be loved and used, and the story will be told. But now I give a party every Friday at the Algonquin. It's like a party. Someone else serves and someone else cleans up. My husband loved parties so much he would clean up. He liked cleaning up after a party. Yes, he loved it.
That's the worst part of a party.
I know, not for him. So I will never find that again. I think he was extraordinary. And but now I give parties at the Algonquin every Friday night from the 6 to 8. It's like a cocktail party. And
well, you sing.
I sing. Play the piano. But I also have sing-alongs. I get lyric sheets out, and we sing along on lots of songs. So people like that. I find that people really like that. It gets people involved.
So it's Friday night at the Algonquin. You can see KT Sullivan doing that. Plus, she's going to be at Pangea this Thursday, I guess, with a special Irishy show. Pangea, Second Avenue. Tell us about this particular, the Irishy. I'm even wearing a little bit of green here.
I'm going to wear green, unlike this burgundy this morning. Yes, I love it. And I'll wear a different green the next day at the Algonquin. Actually, St. Patrick's Day is on Friday, so I'll be there. But on Thursday is my real show, where I go through my favorite things.
Yeah.
Which are, in fact, it's interesting because I'm on your show right now, so that some of my favorite Irish songs were written by Jewish.
Of course they were. The best Christmas songs were written by Yiddles. The best Irish songs too.
Well, it's the greatest form the greatest compliment is imitation. So Burton Lane and Yep Harburg really knew how to write it Irish because in Finian's Rainbow. So I do several songs from Finian's Rainbow, which are some of my favorites. But then there are some great. My parents named me Kathleen because my father loved the song "I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen," and I put it medley with Come back to Erin, Mavourneen, come back again to the land of thy birth. Come with the shamrock and springtime, Mavourneen, and its Killarney will ring with thy mirth. That's
Wow, you can sing. I didn't realize that.
and I put that with Kathleen, also Kathleen Mavourneen is a great song, which was done in the Civil War in the 1860s. There's a beautiful song by Thomas Moore, written in 1799. Believe me for those endearing young charms. She must have heard it. Yeah, they're great classics. And of course, with the sing-alongs, we have some. Oh, the drum goes bang, the cymbals clang, the pipes they rise away. McCarthy comes by the pipes to play, and Hennessy, Tennessee, toodle through. The music is something grand. A cabaret to Ireland is back in the Mariners band. That's one of the sing-alongs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's almost the equivalent of Romania, the Jewish thing. We know this. Do you do any Clancy Brothers? They're my favorite. I love.
Oh, well, I do a lot. See, there's a lot of songs that the Dubliners also. I also do Tommy Makem. 4 green fields, one of them's in bondage in strangers' hands. He tried to take them from me. But my sons have sons as strong as were their fathers. My 4 green fields will bloom once again, said she. Yeah, lots of rebel songs. The minstrel boy to the war is gone. In the ranks of death you'll find him. You know, that's another merry song, a merry war song. But there they go.
Not all the my Jews.
Going off to war is a very merry thing. But then Malloy, the days of the carry dances, the ring of the piper's tune. For one of those hours of gladness gone, alas, like our youth too soon. When the boys began to gather in the glen of the summer night, and the mountain flowery music played us along with such wild delight. To think of it, to dream of it, fills my heart with tears. The days of the carry. See how merry it is. The longing for the past. The big themes are famine, immigration, and partition. And they're not partition.
Partition, yeah, right, yeah.
Town I Love So Well. Now that's by Fred Coulter. He wrote in 76 about the town. He was from Londonderry. The town he loved so well that had and I was just in Belfast last July with the walls going up and the barbed wire, and it's still there.
Yeah. I know a woman who had an Irishwoman who had a Londonderry air. So there you go. Yes.
French. That's very good.
Thank you very much. So this is KT Sullivan. She's talking about the show that she's going to be doing this Thursday night at the Pangea Club, which is over on 178 2nd Avenue. I'm not sure what the cross street is there, but you can get.
It's 12. It's 12th Street.
Cross Street and 2nd Avenue. Get your tickets at PangeaNYC.com. That's PANGA. What? You're looking at me and shocked. It's PangeaNYC.com is how you get tickets.
No, I was just thinking, though, it's across the street from one of the great theaters, the great Yiddish theaters. It's right across the street. Remember that theater down there?
Or which?
Now it's a movie theater, but it was a great Yiddish theater right across the street from Pangea.
Oh, my.
So it's between 12th, 11th and 12th, actually, but right there at 12 is that wonderful. You know the theater I'm talking about, don't you?
I'm thinking it's not where Stomp was. It's not the Orpheum. That's over a little.
No. That further south is Little Shop of Horrors began down there with Five-ish Finkel. That's a little south. That's near the 2nd Avenue Deli, which I don't think is there anymore, is it?
Well, they shot the owner. I think the deli's still there. Abe Leibowald is not. That was a horror. Remember that?
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know that. That's horrible. I used to sing at the 92nd Street Y, and it was catered by it's quite a long way to go cater it down, but that was the best.
Worth it.
Hey, it was worth it. We had all our sandwiches, and then there was a guy named Joey who worked there behind the counter. I used to live at 11th and 2nd, and I used to go, and he gave me chopped liver with pastrami with chopped liver on a sandwich.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I felt like I'd gone to heaven.
You have.
And then I walked in one day and they said, Joey died.
Well,
I was so disappointed because he made it so well. He smoothed that. I'd never had such a thing. But they didn't serve that at the 96 Street. They would give you pastrami or you could have chopped. They didn't do it together. Together, it's a wonderful thing.
Well, I could talk about, obviously, I could talk about pastrami and chopped liver with not just KT, with anyone I could talk about, especially with the delightful KT Sullivan. Now, KT, don't go away. Don't go. I have to go away. I've got to get back to shul. They're expecting services. But Dave, the host, the producer of this program, is going to be right here to take you into the quiz and more fun with KT Sullivan in the David. But KT, God bless you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you.
Happy almost Passover, too. Dave,
that's sad too. The things that are sad are happy, right? Easter's supposed to be sad, but we're happy. I mean, Easter, no, whatever. Passover is sad, but it's happy.
Yes, this is at the same time.
Yes, that's good. That's Irish and that's Jewish too. Be happy and sad at the same time.
Who is the person who crunched down the whole idea of most Jewish holidays to? They tried to kill us, they failed. Let's eat, which is that's basically the whole thing about it. So hold on one mo. Stay there. In fact, could you sing us something lovely while I go get Dave?
I'd love to. Okay. Yes, I will do that.
Bye-bye.
Passing the morning, the gray dawn is breaking. The horn of the hunter is heard on the hill. The lark on its light wing, the bright dew is shaking. Kathleen, morning, what slumbering still. Oh, you look great.
Well, thank you very much. Hi. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That is KT Sullivan. And joining us in just less than a minute is our beloved David Sheward. He's the former managing editor of Backstage, also a theater critic for culturallife.com, theaterdaily.com, and he has his own blog, The David Desk, where he writes about a whole bunch of stuff. And he's going to be joining me and the wonderful KT Sullivan here in the Daverhood to play the Today Yesterday quiz. Thank you, by the way, KT, for being so cool with Rabbi Sol and oh, there we go. There's David Sheward. Hello, David Sheward.
Good morning.
Oh, and you're even unmuted. Yay.
Hi.
Hi. This is KT Sullivan.
Yes,
who
hi.
you've seen on Broadway and you've seen him.
Yes.
So, how are you? How's your week, Dave?
It's okay. It's all right. The Oscars are tomorrow night, so that's exciting. And we have to set our clocks back, forward, I mean. And that's exciting.
Okay. What a life you lead, David Sheward.
Yes. Let me see.
I like your posters. Look at the posters on the wall. It's a real New York apartment.
Yes.
And I like the green. The green. There's the Irish. The green on the wall.
Yes. Oh, I can see your. It's sort of like. Is that a green on your walls? It's sort of a light green.
But I'm saving the green for next week. This is my red. My burgundy. This is the color I got married in. It's a flattering color.
Yes.
But on the wall, you can see Mabel Mercer over there. You see Mabel?
Yes, and Julie Wilson.
Yes, good for you. You know your people.
Yes, and I remember seeing KT in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Oh, great, David. Thank you.
At the Lyceum, wasn't it?
It was Lyceum. I'm going to go see a show next week that's opening about Oscar Levant.
Oh, right. With
John Hayes and my friend Emily Burgle, who's done some things for us at the convention. She's a fun singer.
Oh yay! So this is
Good Night. It's called Good Night Oscar, I think.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
And KT,
funny man. Funny. He's like Saul. He's a funny man.
Yes.
Oh, not as funny as Saul, but close. So, KT gave us a tour of her, but KT lives in Manhattan Plaza, which I'm sure you know.
Nice.
Every theater person knows about Manhattan Plaza, and she just took us through with all the stuff on her walls, all the sign things, and a print or it's a drawing by Tommy Toon of a giraffe. Which is kind of neat. That's on one of her walls there, so it's kind of neat, and it's neat to have you in the Daverhood, David Sheward, once again, and KT. KT doesn't know the rules of the game. David does. Now, I'm remiss. I'm trying to contact Leslie Hoban Blake, also a theater critic. She usually joins us. She's usually late. This time she has an excuse because of the new. We're going through a different website now, as you've seen, David. That's why I had to give you the IDs and stuff like that. But anyway, let me give the rules, and we can kind of start the game. And if Leslie makes it, that's fantastic. Otherwise, we'll kind of work it for two people. Cool?
Okay.
Great. So don't fret, KT. It's nothing it's a ridiculous, pointless game, which is the joy of it. And it's just trivia questions. Here's the deal. It's called Today, Yesterday. So many of the questions are based on things that happened in history on March 11th, this being March 11th. So it could have been March 11th 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 500 years ago. That's the starting point of some of the questions. And some of them are related to current events, of things that happened in the last week. So what I will ask you to do, KT, since you're brand new to the Daverhood, is to kindly think of a number between 1 and 6 and tell me what it is.
What it means?
Oh, wait, in other words, pick a number, but you can tell me. You're not just keeping it to yourself.
Oh, okay. 3.
3 for KT. And David?
I guess 4.
David, 4. Okay. And then Leslie, I'm sure, will be a 6 if she makes it. So I'm going to roll a digital die. It's a website where you can roll a die. And oh my God, I just rolled a 4. So David Sheward, you get to choose. Do you want to go first, second, or possibly third? But
I'll go second.
Great. So David goes second. That means KT, you go first.
Okay.
All right. So it's very simple. I'm going to give you a multiple choice question. You can think about it, and part of the fun of the quiz is you talk it over, you talk out loud, you think it out, or however you want to do it. Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. The year was 1669. Okay. Now you're gonna lava this question. Italy's Mount Etna erupts today, destroying 10 villages and devastating the land, buildings, and the economy. Estimates at the time said that 15 to 20,000 people died, but current estimates say that number is false, hugely exaggerated. But which of these is definitely false about Mount Etna? 3 of these are true, 1 of these is false. A, over the last 20 years, eruptions have been happening almost twice as often as they were before. B, a Sicilian name for Mount Etna translates to beautiful mountain. C, the Greek name for Mount Etna translates to I burn. Or D, in 122 BC, an eruption from Mount Etna was so damaging that the Romans had to triple taxes paid to the Roman Empire for the next 10 years just to rebuild. 1 of these is false.
I think the Etna would not be beautiful mountain in Italian.
Is that your
Bella Montana is a beautiful mountain in Italian. Montana Bella.
final answer? Is that going to be your final answer?
That's it.
Well, I'm afraid sad to pour lava over your thoughts, but it was the Sicilian name.
Oh.
And Sicilian name for
Okay.
Mount Etna is beautiful mountain. So I'm afraid that is not.
Etna is beautiful mountain in Sicilian?
Apparently,
I'm gonna have to look that. I'll look that up. I'll look that up
Yeah.
after you leave. I'll look that up because. Okay, go ahead.
If I'm wrong, we'll give you the 2 points. But David, you get to steal potentially this question.
Okay. All right. So the remaining choices are. Give me the remaining choices again.
A, which of these is false? A,
False.
over the last 20 years, eruptions have been happening almost twice as often as they were before. C, the Greek name for Mount Etna translates to I burn. Or D, in 122 BC, an eruption from Mount Etna was so damaging that the Romans had to triple taxes paid to the Roman Empire for the next 10 years just to rebuild.
All right. So eruptions are happening twice as often in the last 20 years. In Greek, it means I burn. And during the Roman Empire, they had to triple tax everybody.
Right.
Any of them, one of those could be true or they could be false. They sound equally plausible. So I'm going to say that, yeah, when I go into a Greek restaurant and the food isn't right, I always say Etna. I'm going to say, well, I mean, I know that there was was it an earthquake in Italy? I don't recall there being eruptions in Italy. I know there were earthquakes.
Well,
So
I was in Pompeii, so I know there were eruptions.
all right. Well, I'm going to say the one about the triple taxing in the Roman Empire.
You're going to say it is not true.
I'm going to say that's not true.
Now, it was so damaging that the Romans had to triple taxes paid to the empire for the next 10 years just to rebuild. Is that your final
Yes.
answer?
Yes.
Well, David Sheward, you are just blowing up this morning because that is the correct,
Oh,
incorrect answer.
that's the false one.
Basically, what happened was there was a terrible flood in 122 BC, but it was so damaging that the Roman Empire, they stopped taxes for 10 years because they realized people couldn't pay it. So they actually, they didn't triple, or I mean, they took away taxes just to give the town 10 years to rebuild.
Okay.
But KT, the Sicilian name for Mount Etna is Mungbedu. Okay.
Yes, I Mongibello, which is close to Montebello, which I don't know why they think it means Mount Etna in Sicilian. So there were two wrong answers.
Well, they're all wrong. Well, no, they were all, yeah, all right. I can't give you points on that. I'm sorry. David gets the points. And by the way, Etna does come from the Greek word etna.
Greek,
yeah.
that one was correct. Yes.
All right. Anyway, we have a disputed 2 points to David Sheward.
All right.
Which leads us to our next question. Now, David, you have 2 points. If you get this right, you will have a 4-point lead. Here we go. Okay. And guess what kind of question this is, David Sheward?
Is it 3 clues in the news?
It is 3 clues in the news. Of course, it's 3 clues in the news. This is a different kind of excuse me, of question, KT, where I give 3 words that are not related to each other, but each of these words is related to the word that David has to think of. See, I'm telling you this because if David misses this question, he will have a chance to steal it. But and the words can be like blank word or word blank or just the word related.
All right. Yes.
There we go.
All right. So that's important.
Here are the 3 clues in the news.
All right.
Sticks. Jelly.
Oh, that's it. Sticks, gem, jelly.
Right. Sticks, jelly, bowl.
Oh, wait a minute. Sticks, jelly, bowl.
Right.
All right. Well, I was going to say stone because it fits the first 2. And I thought you would said gem, and that would work out perfectly. No. But sticks and stones, jelly, stone, but bowl stone doesn't make any sense. So it's jelly, sticks and stones, sticks, stone, bowl, jelly. Well, Jellystone is where Yogi Bear lived. Bowl, Super Bowl, Rose Bowl, jelly, rose. I'm still going to say stone.
Is that going to be your final answer, David Sheward?
Yes.
Well, as Bob Dylan said, everybody must get stoned, but you, David Sheward. That is not the correct answer.
Right.
Not the word we're looking for. So, KT Sullivan, do you have a sense of how this works, or do you need?
No.
Okay. Fine, it's fine. Let me give you a sample of how this works. This is a different question just for an example. If I were to say, where is it? Spider shines and pox.
Oh.
No, that's just an example. That's just
That's a new example.
Yeah, spider shines pox. What word goes with all 3? Remember, the words don't go with each other. Each connects to. Look at David. He doesn't have autism. What's he doing?
He's scratching.
Like
an ape, a
or,
chimpanzee,
or a
monkey.
Yes.
I don't know.
So think about it. So if you think about it, KT, monkeypox, monkey.
Oh, I see.
See, it goes with all.
And what does spider have to do with monkey?
Spider monkey. Spider monkey.
Spider monkey.
You never heard of it. All right.
What was the second one?
Shines. Monkey shines. What? You never heard of monkey shines? Oh dear. All right. That was not a good.
I'm from Oklahoma. I don't know monkey shines. No.
Oh.
Sorry. All right. Well, that didn't work. But let's bring you back to the. Yeah. Here's the one.
The potato.
Yeah.
The potato.
Well, if we did sweet couch vegetable, The word that would go with all three would be a.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's potato. Okay.
Yes. Right. So you see how it works.
That would work for me.
So the one we're doing,
How was it for you?
it was good for me. So the
Yeah,
one
it's
we're working on
as
is
we speak. So
If she doesn't know the answer, she can promote her show.
that's true. If you take a guess, you're welcome to take a guess. Or if you're really blanking on the answer of the real question, you can always just say Pangea, or just just say.
I can give the phone number.
So, but let's try. Let me throw those words out again for the official one for this week. Is 3 clues in the news: sticks, jelly, bowl. And it does have something. I don't know if you guys. This is kind of like it's in the news, but it's not really heavy in the news. You might not even know this. But can you think of a word that would go with all 3 of those?
The first word is sticks, like in Sticks and Stones by Record Bones, right? Okay, sticks. Okay.
Yes.
David, I put peach jam in your tea by accident, so it should be sweet.
Ooh, yummies. Thank you.
It's good. Yeah.
Ooh, peachy. So, how are we doing, KT?
I have no idea.
All right.
Hey, I heard you have a show coming up. Where would that be, and how would I get tickets?
Let's see. I'm looking up. Oh. 212-995-0900.
Is that the number for Algonquin or Pangea?
Pangea. Algonquin, there's no reservations needed. It's no cover, and people just stop by.
isn't
But Pangea, you can call.
Give me that number again, so I'll write it down. What was it?
that
All right. 212-995-0900.
995 0900. Okay.
Yes.
So that's how you get tickets to see KT Sullivan this Thursday night at Pangea doing, is it When Irish Eyes Are Smiling? What's the actual name of the?
That's what I'm calling it. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. And PangeaNYC.com. This is my little, isn't that cute? A little, my head is in a shamrock, just like a fascinator. I wear fascinators.
isn't a Pangea where a lost continent or something? Or wasn't
Well, it was the first continent. But before we broke up into continents, there was Pangea,
a supercontinent?
Mother. Yes.
So
Why
anyway,
does it not surprise me that David Sheward would know
No,
that?
Now,
here's the deal. What they didn't know.
I think David Sheward should take another guess at sticks, jelly, and bowl.
I can only come up with stone, and it's not stone.
No, it's not. No, I'm afraid I stumped the panel on this one.
What
I didn't
is
think it was that.
What is
So
it? What is it?
Joyce, you
Tell
see
me
if we
what
get
it
all
is.
right. It's sticks,
Mhm.
jelly, bowl. What word might go with all 3 of those?
Honey?
No,
I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, I love them honey sticks.
Oh, fish. Fish?
Fish.
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 Oh, fish sticks.
Fish sticks, jellyfish.
Oh, jellyfish.
Oh, that's
jellyfish.
amazing. Oh my God. It always seems simple when you hear the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
it?
It's amazing.
Fish. So
And the reason for the news, I don't know if you guys have heard of
what
this.
fish was in the news?
The passing of Robert Hamer, age 69. He was the half. His stage name was Artie Barnes of Barnes and Barnes, who gave us the deathless novelty song "Fish Heads." And you all know Fish Heads?
But don't they call it?
vaguely.
Isn't that what's happening to us all on the internet? People are fishing, and you get they mess up your whole credit and all that stuff. And they call fishing. They spell it differently. PH. Yeah.
No, the Fish Heads is like a 40-year-old song that is the most popular song ever played on Dr. Demento. Is
Really? I don't know
Did it go
it.
something like fish heads,
Roly Poly Fish Heads,
and
Fish
that was
Heads.
it.
It's brilliant. It's one of the great novelty songs of all times.
Who threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder? Nobody spoke, so he shouted all the louder. It's an Irish trick, that's true. I can lick the mick that threw the overalls in Mrs. Murphy's chowder.
Are you going to be doing that one? Are you going to be singing that one at the When Irish
That's going to be a part of the sing along. I want everyone to join me.
Oh,
Politically
yeah.
incorrect.
With no cover, no admission, and a bunch of singing, it's going to be
Well,
pretty
well,
wild.
careful. No. The
No,
Algonquin
no.
is no cover, no admission.
No.
Pangaea, there is a cover.
And at the Algonquin on St. Patrick's night, I will be doing that one too. And I'll have had out lyric sheets and everyone sing along. And that will be the night when everyone's going to be so three sheets to the wind on St. Patrick's night.
Well, don't
It's
you
gonna be-
dread that? Is that horrible for a
Well, that's
performer?
why I'm doing my show at Pangea on the eve of St. Patrick's,
Yeah.
because people do have some sense about them and they can listen to a good, sad lyric. But at the Algonquin on Friday, I think we're going to be doing all the novelty numbers with the lyrics in front of them. I think there's been a lot of this. And then falling down on your way home. Yes.
Doing any pogues by any chance, or any?
Well, Pogues.
Yeah, any Shane MacGowan songs at all? Just
Oh,
curious.
now, see, you know all these fish songs too. I'm missing out here. I have a missing link here. Pogue songs?
Yeah, well, all right. I mean, after the show, go check out.
I need to educate myself. What should I look for? I should look for the fish something.
Well, Fish Heads by Barnes
Fish
and
Heads.
Barnes.
And what's the Pogues?
Well, if you've never heard, it's really a song for Christmas. But if you've never heard "Fairy Tale of New York," it's one of the greatest songs ever.
How sweet. Fairy Tale of New York. Who wrote it?
It's Shane MacGowan, and he sang it with Christy McCall. And
I've heard of her,
considered
yes.
the greatest Christmas song in England. You know,
Oh,
London
oh,
votes it every year.
Oh, I have heard that. My grandson does that. It is
Okay.
wonderful. With Shay McGowan and that woman, the female name you just mentioned, she's
Kirsty
wonderful.
McCall.
Oh, Chris McCall. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love
She's
that.
dead, but she was wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't that long ago she died, though, right?
No, it's about 20 years now. It was
Was
a
it?
horrible, some accident she had. Yeah.
But she was wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Very.
Well,
different.
anyway, and if you ever, and one more, "A Pair of Brown Eyes." If you've never heard that song by the Pogues, check it out.
Really,
Beautiful song.
my father used to call my mother Brown Eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
which is weird because she had green eyes. So I was thinking of another
Well,
one.
I have green eyes, and my father see, I have green eyes, you see, and my sister has blue, and my other sister has gray, and my father always wanted a brown-eyed girl, and he finally got the granddaughter. He got a brown-eyed girl.
Aw.
And then you go into the Van Morrison songs, and you've got tons there.
Yeah, that's
Let's
great.
the
Yeah.
next question. I don't see Leslie, so, and I'm
You
not
want
even
me to
getting.
check your phone? Give me
I'm here. Here, check it.
What
Check it.
happened to Les?
Who knows? Anyway, so
Leslie.
this next question, though, goes directly to Katie again. So, Katie, this is going to be another multiple choice question. And if you get it right, you will be tied with David Sheward. Okay.
Is the link in your?
You're not going to give me Mount Etna?
No,
Mount
no.
Etna?
No
It's
volcano
not-
thing.
It was not Etna. That does not mean a beautiful mountain in Sicilian. But go ahead.
It was. It's Mungbedu. And it was Munchibedu.
Montebello. It does not. But it wasn't. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
It's
Here's
not Etna.
the question.
Okay.
This is a current events question. Passing this week at age 89, Michael James Gubitosi, a.k.a. Robert Blake, best known as TV's Beretta, and for allegedly murdering his second wife, Bonnie Lee
Yeah.
Baker. According to IMDb, which of these is false about Robert Blake? A, he turned down the role of Little Joe in Bonanza, which then went to Michael Landon. B, he was the first actor to say the word bullshit in a mainstream Hollywood film. C, he turned down the role of Wojciechowicz in Barney Miller, which went to Max Gale. Or D, as preparation for playing Dr. Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins visited Blake in prison.
Wow.
Only one of these is false.
Well, I think it's going to be the last one, because Hannibal Lecter is not like a man who killed his wife. That's a serial murder, which is a very different kind of thing. And the other ones, I remember hearing that he turned down lots of roles, and I can hear him saying bullshit. He used to give the greatest interviews on the Johnny Carson show. He was a very entertaining man, and I think that's one of those crimes of passion that can happen that have nothing to do with a Hannibal Lecter type of murder. So I think it's the fourth.
So I think it is not true that his preparation for playing Dr. Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins visited Blake in prison. Is that your final answer?
That is.
Well, pour yourself a nice Chianti, because you have not gotten 2 points. I'm afraid that is not the correct thing he did.
So good for him. Anthony visited him. That's lovely.
Well, it was also because he played in Cold Blood. And that character, that role, really appealed to Anthony Hopkins in developing.
Well, he was great. He was a great actor.
So,
Both of them were great actors.
yeah,
So-
David Sheward, though, you get to steal.
All right. So he either turned down Little Joe in Bonanza, he's the first one to say bullshit in a major picture, or he turned down Wojciechowicz in Barney Miller. I don't know. I mean, I really can't see him playing either of those roles.
I can see him as little Joe. He was awfully cute.
Yeah, maybe when he was a lot younger. Yeah,
Again,
and I can't see. I really
which
can't
character? Which character is Wojciechowicz?
he was the Polish guy who was sort of not. He kind of was a little bit of a stereotype. He was a little slow. He was very muscular and stocky.
All balding.
Who's the actor?
Max Gale.
Max Gale.
Oh.
Max Gale. That
I
was
didn't really see that series, so I don't know.
that was his. He once did a one-man show on Broadway where he played Babe Ruth, and it ran for one performance.
Oh wow.
And I was an usher on that show, and Babe Ruth's daughter was there and everything. And I somehow, I forget how it happened, but I somehow got in on the meeting where they decided to close it.
Oh my.
Because all the reviews were really bad.
I think I saw. I don't know. I couldn't have seen it. How long ago was that?
Well, it was 1985, 1986, something like that.
You probably saw Carrie too, didn't you?
No, I didn't see Carrie.
It lasted a week, but everyone claims to have seen it.
I saw the off-Broadway revival a few years later.
Okay.
All right.
I saw Dance a Little Closer with Lenny.
Which closed a little faster.
Yeah.
It closed a little faster. That's right. My dad and I, he had like tickets from
that's
the
funny.
office, and we went to.
It's a good score. It's a wonderful score.
It's good, but the show was bad. It was,
I'm going to
Alan
say
Daverhood wrote some great music.
No,
Lyrics.
I did see 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue when it was in
Oh, I'd
Philadelphia.
love to have seen that.
I saw it in Philadelphia. It was really an interesting show, an interesting
Take
tale.
Care of This House, which we thought
Right.
of a lot during the last administration.
Right. And it was Patricia Rutledge, Mrs. Bouquet.
I loved her. And she had a good voice, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She had one number where she played two first ladies.
Wow.
It's called Duet for One. All right, I'm gonna go with I do believe, I'm trying to think what, maybe it was In Cold Blood where he said bullshit. That could be. All right, I'll say he wasn't even offered the Barney Miller role, I'm gonna say. So I'll say that C is false.
is that your final answer?
Sure.
Well, somebody call the cops because David Sheward is walking away from here with 4 points now. Yes,
Wow.
the correct answer. Nothing to do with Barney Miller. Never offered or anything like that,
I
as far
can
as
give
we
him,
know.
he deserves the man.
Yeah. Oh. Well, the winner will
Yes.
get our special
okay, yes.
presentation thing.
Oh.
Remind me. But
I think David should be on Wait, Don't Tell Me, which I'm going to see at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm going to listen. I always listen to it at 11.
this is preparation for Wait. And kind of based on Wait in a way. And yes, he said bullshit in Cold Blood. And yeah, the others were true, in fact. But no, the Barney Miller was false. So David Sheward with 4 points so far. But Katie, you're not out of it yet. There's still plenty of time as we move to the next. I don't know how the heck I'm going to do. Oh yes, I can do. Can I?
What's
How does
wrong?
this go? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can do this. So the next question is going to be going directly to David Sheward.
Okay.
The year was 1855. Thousands of mourners turn out to the burial of William Poole, aka Bill the Butcher, fictionalized and memorialized by Martin Scorsese in Gangs of New York.
Oh, okay.
The real Poole was a volunteer firefighter, boxer, anti-Catholic politician, and gang leader of the Bowery Boys. Speaking of the Bowery Boys, which of these was not a film made by the comedy troupe in the 1950s?
I knew it was going that way.
Hang on. Which of these was not a Bowery Boys movie
Not a real movie. Okay.
by the Bowery Boys? A, Dig That Uranium. B, Hold That Hypnotist. C, Hold That Ghost. D, Hold That Baby.
Okay. Hold That Ghost. Hold That Hypnotist. Hold That Baby.
Oh, Les is typing.
Or Dig That Uranium.
Dig That
Take
Uranium.
that uranium. I love
Hold
that.
Baby.
I
Now, the obvious answer would be Dig That Uranium because it's the only one that doesn't start with Hold That.
Yes.
But I don't know. I mean, I think I've actually seen that title, Hold That Ghost. I think I've seen that. Not the movie, but like a poster for it somewhere.
Leslie said she had a bad night. She overslept. I'll tell her next week.
Next week, fine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Leslie O'Van Blake won't be joining us, unfortunately.
Okay.
But we're fine. We're in the game. Where we're
I'm gonna say, dig that uranium. All right, I'm gonna say hold that baby is false because I think it's too dig that uranium
Yeah.
is too obvious a choice.
Yes.
I'll say hold that baby.
It's a good choice.
Hold That Baby was not a Bowery Boys film in the 1950s.
Right.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Oh, hun, can you do the baby? Oh, you're typing
said,
Leslie. The baby noise.
Oh, give me a second. Okay, so I was texting this next
Yeah.
one. So I said, feel better. You're great. She feels
Where-
A baby.
Oh, hold that baby. However, I'm afraid that answer will not hold because Hold That Baby really was a Bowery Boys film.
Okay.
KT Sullivan, you have a chance to steal the question.
So I'll go for the obvious one. Dig the uranium. Dig that uranium.
Is that your final
Because
answer?
hold that hypnotist sounds like fun, and hold that. Or let me go for the ghost. I'll go for the ghost. Hold that
You're
ghost.
not going to do the uranium. You're going
I'll
to
do the ghost.
That ghost
It's
is
too
not.
obvious. Uranium's too obvious. So I'll go for ghost.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, I didn't mean to spook you, KT, but you're getting 2 points.
Yeah.
Because Hold That Ghost was a 1941 comedy by Abbott and Costello.
Oh, that's where I saw it. I was at. Oh, you
Okay.
tricked me.
I
I did. So that is a real legitimate.
It's a
title.
real legitimate comedy movie, but by the
Abbott.
Abbott and Costello a decade earlier.
I
Not.
knew I'd seen that title somewhere.
And who's on first? David Sheward.
Well, Who's on First was in their first movie. They did A Night in the Tropics, and
Yes, and there's a good song from that Mabel Mercer sang.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. But it's in the background, so you don't really know. It's one of the great songs. It's a Dorothy Fields lyric.
Oh.
Anyway, I'll think of it.
Anyway, the forget all that. The most important thing here is we have a close game now because David has 4 points and KT Sullivan has 2 points and more game to play in our today-yesterday quiz on Dave's Gone By. This is so exciting, isn't it? Do you feel it?
Yes.
Do you feel it? Yes.
Yes.
So let's see. So it was David. We get to a new question for KT Sullivan.
Leslie sent some emojis, but I don't know how to interpret them. I just said
You want to hold up there?
I don't know what they mean.
Oh,
It looks like
it's an eggplant. It might be for me.
Remind me, David, you know the song Remind Me Not to Find You So Attractive. That is from that movie with Abbott and Costello.
Oh.
But it's
Oh.
played in the background. You don't hear it, but that's in the movie.
Oh.
So here's. Oh, I'm sorry. So here's the next question. This goes directly to you, KT, and this is another weird one. It's not
Okay.
who's in the news, but it's another weird, different kind of a question.
Nothing to do with monkeys.
Monkeys,
My
no.
God.
So here's the deal. This question has 2 answers, each worth 1 point apiece, right? And so the thing is, you come up with one answer, and then the second answer is only 1 letter different from the first. I'll give you an example.
This is like the puzzle contest. I'm not good at puzzles. Okay, go ahead.
Let's call it change 1 letter. So
Mhm.
here's this fake one. This is an example one to see if you get the rules here.
Except for dancing potato.
So I'm gonna read this little poem, a little doggerel poem, and it'll come up with two different answers. You'll see. It holds any picture you've got. Change 1 letter, and it's hot.
This is the example.
This is the example. This is not the actual real thing. Okay. So, KT, this is for you. It holds any picture you've
Why
got.
don't you just give her the answer so she can see the logic?
Well, I wanna see if she
That's
can-
helpful to people to see logic,
Yeah.
and then they could do it themselves.
Well, do you see where it's going,
Well,
KT?
give her the first
I
What-
think it's like the Limerick thing on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Kind of,
Show her
yeah.
this, show
Kind
her
of, yes.
Here, this is the answer.
Well, here's. Okay. It holds any picture you got. What is this, KT?
It's a frame.
Right. Right. Change 1 letter, and it's hot.
Think of firemen or firewomen.
Flame.
Flame. There you go. 1 point for frame. 1
Okay.
point. Got it. So this question works exactly in that way. Here we go.
Okay.
I lost it. So, and it's in the form of a poem, and it is about someone who was born today, back in 1951, March 11th, 1951, born today. This Finzi Contini's actress found the inheritance peachy. Change one letter to describe something beachy.
Oh.
David's got it.
A Finzi Contini actress. I didn't see the Garden of the Finzi Continis. It wasn't Catherine Deneuve, was it? Wonderful. So anyway, Finzi Contini actress and Peachy. So I'm looking at something from Beachy, Peachy.
Well, it doesn't rhyme with beachy and peachy. You're
So
looking for words.
It's the answer. Get the answer to the first question. Then once you have that answer, you change one letter in the word to get the answer to the second question.
Or if you get the second question first, you change
Yeah.
one letter to get the answer to the first.
Maybe just ask one question at a time. Like, what's the first question?
Well, the first one is, this Finzi Contini's actress found the inheritance peachy. Change one letter to describe something beachy.
You have to know the first part. That's hard.
I feel really stupid.
No. Okay, it's stupid trivia.
I have
It's
no
got-
idea.
If you know the second one is kind of obvious, and it might lead you to the first.
The second is what? Preachy, beachy rhyme, or what am I
It's
going
nothing
for?
to do with rhyming with beachy and peachy. You're looking for an answer to the question, change one letter to describe something beachy.
Well, the beach ball. I don't know. Sand, balls. I don't know. What are you going for? I don't know.
All
You can always
right.
pass it. You can.
Well, you can give your phone number for the Pangea tickets to see when advertisers are smiling, which is, I can give it if you want. Well, are you going to pass the call or are you going to take a
I'm
stab?
gonna pass, but I don't understand the game. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Well. By the way, you can go
Welcome
see
to my life.
Thursday night, KT Sullivan at Pangea, 212-995-0900 for tickets, or PangeaNYC.com for tickets. David Sheward, it sounds like you kind of know.
I think I do. All right. The beachy part is Sandy. And the actress, I don't know. It's her name was, I did see the Garden of the Finzi Contini back in college. And I remember Tennessee Williams presented the award, the Oscar for Best Screenplay. And he said, the nominees are the Garden of the Finzi Continis. And her name was Dominique, Sande, I think. So I think it's Sand and Sandy. Her name was Dominique, something like Sand. I think that. So I'm going to say Sand and Sand, Sande, and then Sandy.
Is that your final answer, though?
Yeah, I know I've got at least one of them right.
No.
Final answer, yes?
Yes.
Well, it is a peachy answer. I'm going to give you 1 3/4 stars on that, because or
What
points
is
on.
it?
It's close. It's first of all, yes, you're absolutely right. It was Sandy. Something that's beachy is Sandy,
Yes.
and the actress is Dominique Sanda, Sanda.
Oh, I couldn't remember. I knew it was Sand something.
So it's 1. I'll give you 1.5 because
Yeah, all right.
it was not not quite, but
Okay.
you had the idea. So
Did you
David,
know that Tennessee Williams lived at Manhattan Plaza?
Yes, I knew that.
My friend used to swim with him in the pool. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So anyway, so here's the deal. David Sheward now has 5.5 points. KT has 2. And by the way, Sanda won Best Actress at Cannes Film Festival in 1976 for The Inheritance. She was also in a couple of Bertolucci films. So that's.
She was beautiful. I remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
alive and well, by the way. She's still
Good to hear.
So here's the next question, but this goes directly to David Sheward. So
Okay.
I think you've kind of gotten this pretty much wrapped up anyway.
All right.
Yeah, you kind of do. But we're still going to do the question anyway. And David, yes, it is your favorite thing in the world.
Wow.
3 clues in the news again?
Well, it wasn't supposed. There were supposed to be three people playing, so it wasn't supposed to go
but
to you
David,
twice.
You'll get it, David.
Well, it could have. Well, all right. Well, go ahead.
So here's the deal: it's 3 clues in the news, and the 3 clues are honey,
Oh,
shake,
shake.
sour.
Oh, well, it has to be milk.
I don't get the first one.
Is that
Oh, honey, Israel. The Jerry Herman musical.
David, wow.
Final answer?
Wow.
Milk.
Milk.
That's right.
Made that one tougher. Yes, David Sheward, you are absolutely correct. Don't have a cow. It is milk. Any reason? You get the 2 points, of course. Do you know why milk?
I don't know.
Well, Harvey
Milk.
Milk's been dead for a while. Milk. Republicans are proposing a tax on milk. I don't know.
Is almond milk really milk? That's a big controversy too. All those.
Okay. Oh yeah, that came up. Yes.
And they label it milk under the FDA.
Yes.
Right. I remember that there being something. I was switching the channels and I did see on the PBS NewsHour they were interviewing people.
I think they have to rename it. They can't call it. They have to call it like almond jizz or something like that.
Ah,
You know, it's interesting that white chocolate got away with calling itself white chocolate. It's not chocolate.
Ew! What is it then? It's just sugar.
It's fat and sugar. There's no chocolate in it. Chocolate is the cocoa is always dark, so
Oh.
it's not chocolate. But they got away with it for years. It's still called white chocolate.
It
It's
still
not.
is. Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
By the way,
It's not chocolate.
but the and milk and honey is kind of almost an internal clue there. The reason for milk was that back on 2 days ago, Topol died of
Oh.
Alzheimer's disease
Oh,
on age 87. Topol, of course, best known for playing
yes.
yeah.
Have you?
the milkman. So that's why.
That's a
Yeah, it's a stretch.
That's a reach. Yeah.
that's a series of dominoes going down.
Kind of is.
I like the Jerry Herman reference. Milk and honey. I like that one.
There you go. So,
Was that his first,
David Sheward has
was it his first Broadway show?
Jerry Herman.
Yeah, Jerry Herman.
I think it was. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, Topol was on Broadway in Fiddler on the got Tony nominated and was Oscar nominated for the film version earlier. So, all right, we have though, even though the score's not tied, even though
It was
David
the same year as the Garden of the Finzi Continis.
What was that?
Fiddler on the Roof and the Garden of the Finzi Continis came out
Oh,
in
the same year.
What's wrong with you?
1971.
71.
Thank you, David. So,
And,
David, you're gonna have one more test of your mutual wits
And Molly Picone was in Milk and Honey.
Yes.
in the on
Milk and Honey in the Broadway show.
On Broadway.
as was Austin Pendleton, our friend of the Daverhood.
Oh, I love Austin.
Mm.
He was in Fiddler.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's right. So cool.
Yes, he was model Cam Sawyer.
Taylor.
So here we go. This is a tiebreaker. Now, KT, do you happen to have a writing implement
I
and,
do.
and something to write on?
If I only had a brain.
So our tiebreaker is a little bit, even though we don't have a tie, we do the question
For
anyway.
fun.
And our tiebreaker, what you do is, since we give it to both of you at the same time,
It's like Jeopardy. Just tell her it's like Jeopardy.
yeah, you write down the
Bum,
answer,
bum, 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 bum.
and then you hold the answer to the camera. So when I give a countdown, so everybody can
What
see
does
it.
that say? Nothing?
This is
That's the baby.
the boy,
one,
yeah.
The baby. Hold that baby.
Hold that baby. There it is.
Yeah,
This is the
see?
baby holding something really.
That's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing
what's
what you're going to
happen,
see in a
when you
moment.
win.
All right.
That's foreshadowing. The newest edition.
Yeah,
of
we'll do this for David
David's
after the tiebreaker. Here
Okay.
we go. The year, and this is not a multiple choice. This is you just fill in the answer. The year was 1971.
Oh, jeez.
Born March 11th, today, in Tennessee, is this actor and provocateur whose TV and later film series took bad taste stunts to hilarious new lows.
Oh.
This jackass's birth name was Philip Clapp, but what's the stage name of this performer who is a divorced dad, but one hopes will not one day be a bad grandpa?
Oh.
I'll give you some drum. Maybe you should entertain them.
Why?
Oh, okay.
For his victory dance, yeah.
I can visualize him, but I can't think of his name.
Is his name a sound?
Kinda. Part of it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Oh.
His name sounds like a sound, right?
It sounds like what?
Like
Well,
a sound.
sort
like
of.
a sound.
Ki-
Like
His
the
last.
Batman and Robin sound, right? No?
Wait, who?
Oh no, I have the wrong person.
Well, you might be having the wrong. No, oh no, I know who you're
No,
thinking of.
I never
You have the
remember.
other person who I think just died, or he's in the news or something. He's for beating somebody.
I don't
Well,
know.
they're very, it's like 52 years old. Okay, so he's young.
All right. I have a guess. That's all I can. But I know who you're talking about. But that's just not
Name.
something.
The name, right?
It's hard
That's
to
just not something I've ever watched.
So, KT, if you can also write down a name, and then I'll read the question again, and then I'll give a countdown: 3, 2, 1.
I can't think of his name. I think I know who it is too, but I can't think
So
of his
you can write down the number for tickets at Pangea to see when Irish eyes are smiling this Thursday night, or just write down Algonquin because she's there Friday nights from 6 to 8 with kind of an open piano bar sing-along show. So let me
Like
know.
we used to have 88s. Remember the ones at 88s? Remember all those guys singing at 88s? David, were you around in those years? With all the
Yeah.
guys singing? It was so much fun.
Yeah, I do remember 88s.
Yes.
I like it. It was that was one of my.
That's when we saw
favorite.
Harvey.
It was one of my favorite. What was
Wasn't it great?
Was it Ibis? Who's the one I really liked?
Well, Club Ibis was in New York. That was in
But the one
Midtown.
all the way downtown. It was like in almost.
That was
That was
88.
88.
Yeah.
They had a really good like breakfast
Um,
store.
Oh well, yeah. So, Katie, do you have something written down? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. So I'm just going to write down something.
Cool. Write down whatever. Pangea and what. Okay, I'm gonna read the question. Wait, no, don't show it. I'm gonna read the question again, and then give a 3, 2, 1, and you both show it at the same time.
Okay.
So here's the tiebreaker question. Born today, 1971, in Tennessee, is this actor and provocateur whose TV and later film series took bad taste stunts to hilarious new lows. This jackass's birth name was Philip Clapp. But what's the stage name of this performer who's a divorced dad, but one hopes will not one day be a bad grandpa? 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. I see. I can't read your last name. So she's holding up Mark Nadler. And what did you write, David?
Johnny
David-
Knoxville.
Oh,
You got it. That gets the correct.
Wow.
David Sheward gets the tiebreaker.
Wow.
That you have what made you get it in the last thing?
That name was in my consciousness. It was in my mind, and I thought, is he the guy on Jackass? And
There's
He's
a
the
show
guy.
called
He's John
Jackass.
Knoxville. So congratulations to David Sheward. He is the winner.
are you selling used cars now?
Isn't that wonderful?
Are you selling
That's
used
great.
cars now?
Victory.
That's for cars. It's
I can't hear a
wonderful.
word because this is right in
Turn
my
it
ear.
off. Turn it off.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
You do see those at car dealerships.
Yes.
Yeah. But this fits on a table. It's the
That's
greatest
lovely.
Yes.
I want that.
ever. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind people, first of all, that David Sheward is the winner of today's Today Yesterday quiz with 5.5 points plus the tiebreaker.
Wow.
KT Sullivan on the board. It's not easy even to get on the board in this show. And you've got
I
two.
should never do. Wait, don't tell me. Or that puzzle thing on Sunday. There's that puzzle thing.
with
on
Will Short.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God! I never get that.
So, but David, can you kindly tell us what you're writing about so that we can read it in Cultural Daily and TheaterLife.com and your website?
Oh, okay. Let me see. I caught up finally with Anne Juliet at the Stephen Sondheim.
Oh, good. I want to see that. Did you like it?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was a lot of fun. The cast is wonderful. So I have a review of that and the update of The Seagull at the new
Oh, yes,
from the new group with Parker Posey. It's called The Seagull : or / Woodstock NY, which is like, I think it's like the 7th or 8th update of The Seagull.
Well, how was this one? Can you say?
It was entertaining. The author is Thomas Bradshaw, who's very raw and very frank about sex and stuff. So there's a lot of sex talk in it, but it's appropriate. As far as you believe that the characters would say things like that. And I will have a review soon of A Doll's House, which just opened with Jessica Chastain. And I wonder if she's going to fly out for the Oscars or if she's going to do the show. Interesting.
Wow.
Because she won last year. It's
Yeah.
traditional for the winner last year to present the award, except Will Smith now is banned for 10 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
But she's going to slap the host. So it's
Yes,
gonna-
yes. I wonder if she'll get on a plane and then head back.
Did you hear there's no red carpet?
Oh, really?
They've done away with the red carpet and they're calling it champagne colored, and which is a dreary color.
Oh, you mean they'll
for a
still be doing
carpet.
it? Why? I wonder why.
I think I was trying to wonder why. I guess it's elitist. A red carpet.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know.
Oh, for
And a
God.
champagne carpet is not. A champagne
I-
carpet is not.
Yeah.
right. Champagne carpet.
I think Asians complained that the red was maybe they
No,
felt
red
it
is
was.
for red is a good color.
Yeah, I don't.
I love red.
And I did see The Best We Could at Manhattan Theater Club, so I'm going to combine. And they're similar because both shows have no set. It's just the bare bones of the theater.
Well, that's the best they could do. So was that good? How was that?
I enjoyed that. It's about a daughter and her father making a cross country trip and their shattered or their relationship, and it's a very moving. I thought it was a very moving piece. And A Doll's House is a brilliant performance of a classic work, but it's done very like no props, no scenery. Everyone's in black. And
Wait, so she slams air?
no, well, I don't want to spoil it because the final effect is kind of surprising. But
All right.
it's a very good production,
Oh.
and she will probably get a Tony nomination.
All right. Well, so, and what are you writing about for the David Desk? What's your
Oh, well, I've been doing book reviews and whatever I happen to be reading. And the last one I did was a collection of short stories by Haruki Murakami, a Japanese author who wrote IQ 84, which I've never read, but it's this massive novel, but I've read some of his a collection of his short stories. And just what Oscar-nominated films I've been able to see on streaming services. It's weird. This year, I've only seen one Oscar-nominated film in an actual theater. All the rest are streaming.
Yeah,
which one did you see, David?
I saw Tar in the theater.
I did too. I love Tar.
Yeah, I think that though Kate Blanchett will not win, and I think it'll go to Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere.
I haven't seen Tar, but I've heard it sticks to you. So
Yeah.
now KT Sullivan is going to be performing. I know she performs every Friday. Is it every Friday at the Algonquin?
Every Friday
Friday at the Algonquin.
throughout the whole year. I've been
Wow.
extended.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you're 7 foot tall now. That you literally. But very specifically and especially this Thursday night, you can also see her at Pangea doing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. Get your tickets at PangeaNYC.com.
It's pre St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's the night before St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick's.
It's the Eve. It's like Christmas Eve, St. Patrick's Eve.
So this is a new club, Pangea, a new cabaret.
Pangea's been around a few years. They survived the pandemic, thank God. And it's lovely. It's a perfect square room, David. One of those great square rooms. The classic cabaret rooms are square, as opposed to long rectangles like railroad apartments. No, this is a perfect square, so everyone has a good seat. It's not very big. It seats about 50 people.
Oh,
It's
great.
intimacy. It's a lovely, intimate walk.
Well, go see KT at the Boîte and go read David Sheward all over the place on the interwebs. I want to thank you.
I've read you forever, David. It's great to finally spend some time with you.
Oh, thank you, KT. Thank you.
You're so smart.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not much, but he is absolutely.
Thank you.
Throw kisses
You're
at
Irish.
the camera.
You're Irish, David. Tora, Lora, Lora, Tora, Lora, Lie, Tora, Lora, Lora. That's an Irish lullaby. Bye.
Bye
Irish
bye.
lullaby.
How nice. You've never had a guest sing their way out.
That was perfect.
Lovely.
That was just the
she
best
was
way
lovely.
to-
Yeah, like what a nice way to.
We had the wavy
We should
man
have all
and
guests-
singing.
All guests sing their way out. Yeah.
We should. We absolutely
Yeah.
should. I think our Paul Schlosser to do that too.
I'm sorry, David. When I made your tea, I thought it was honey because I'm still not right.
It tastes like honey. It tastes
I
fine.
put peach in there and I took a sip. It's delicious.
Mm.
You have peach jelly and honey in there.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah, but the peach jam is it's homemade.
But it works. It's
I
nice.
thought it was honey. It's jam. Yeah.
Okay. Mm. That's my jam.
That's your jam.
We're jamming on it. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah. She puts on quite a spread. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 11 o'clock in the morning
I'm making
Eastern
the
time.
bread. The bread's gonna be done at.
Oh, you're making the bread? Oh,
I
we're
put
using
the
our
bread
bread
in.
maker.
I
Yay!
think I put the bread in at like 8:30. I didn't look when I went down, but I think it's gonna be done around 12:30 or
1 o'clock-ish, yeah.
We need more bread
Just do 2
supplies.
pounds?
Yes, I did.
All right, next time we go to Anywhere,
We
we'll...
need, I wrote down some things we need, like flour and whatnot.
So let's see, we have still our...
Oh, and I'm returning a band for my Lux, because this one I changed,
Yeah.
but the other one it didn't snap in, so I returned it,
Mm.
and they're gonna send you a label, I guess, to
Oh, okay.
whatever's
so,
linked
yeah.
to your Amazon.
I'm
I'm
guessing
not
the email. So,
Yeah, I'll check.
we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned still to do, and we have Greeley Crimes and Old Times still to do. Here, on this 885th edition of Dave's Gone By, we've been calling it Sullivan's Travels in honor of our delightful guest, KT Sullivan in the Daverhood, with Rabbi Saul Solomon, of course. So, what else do we want to talk about besides, we're talking about the hairy mussels. Oh, yes, we did. We have a new bird feeder. We put it up.
Oh, I didn't take a picture. You want on your phone here?
Well, I had that one of the cardinal.
I'll get it. But we have a lot of baby birds because it's a small feeder here.
Yeah. So if you heard about our saga a couple of months, well, like 2 months ago, we had this bird feeder up that the previous owners of the house had up there for years, presumably. So we filled it with birdseed. And who knew that squirrels really, really love birdseed? It never occurred to me. And that squirrels could somehow get into a standing bird
You have
feeder
to
on a
point it
pole.
out, though.
Yeah. Well, this is tough to see, but
Yeah, you can point it.
so here's the old bird feeder that the squirrel. I can't even make this bigger than this.
No, I know that's the best we get.
Yeah, it is not even. Can't really see. That little patch of red on the new feeder is a cardinal.
We could go to Odd Lots and just grab another bag of birdseed.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we get it.
Yeah, just a giant bag.
Yeah.
So we'll fill them up. I don't mind the squirrels eating. I just don't want the squirrels literally chew through the plastic
Yeah.
of the old bird feeder and destroy it.
This one has a. I'll get a picture of it.
Well, this one has wires,
I'll show you.
like
yeah.
metal covering it. Squirrels will still
And then
figure out a
what
way.
happens is when the weight of the bird hops on one of the little ledges, it pulls the thing down so it covers the seed holes.
So we're hoping this will last a while. We're hoping the little birds will like it. And we're certainly seeing these tiny like sparrows and maybe I think they're junco birds. I'm not sure what they are, but it's marvelous to see. I've got my office in the house looks directly out onto the backyard. And if I turn my head, I can see the bird feeder while I'm working. And these little birds hopping around. And I see the squirrel inching towards it. And at first in the old feeder, the squirrels were cool. The squirrels would sort of run around under it, and other birds would too, just waiting for the seeds to drop every time a bird hopped on it, because, a little seed would spill down, and then any bird on the ground could say, oh, that's for me. And a squirrel could too. But then the squirrels just started commandeering the thing. And I was like, oh, no. So we've got both feeders up there. We're filling the new one, and it's working. We're seeing birds.
Your phone is very slow.
It's kind of
no data collection. I know it's not.
My phone is I mean, thank God it's a phone. It makes phone calls, and the GPS works when it feels like working. But other than that, anyway, let's do Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Wait, hold on. Joyce is getting a picture of the bird feeder, or of. Hold on. I also need to get the newspaper thing out. Show me. Oh, this is the one we bought.
Yeah.
It's actually prettier where we have it hanging.
So, you didn't fill it up all the way. That's it. All the birdseed is gone now.
But look at that. Look at that. What we got, and it's working fine so far. And we're thinking, well, it's also the seed as much as the fact that we're eating little birds.
Yeah.
Different kind of seed might have bigger-ish birds, but also might bring the squirrels too.
Well,
So
the squirrels are on the bottom, but the little birds are so many they scare the squirrel away.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Except until they start coming in packs.
Well, we had the crows. They didn't like that.
So here's the front page of a newspaper, the Greeley Tribune, from Greeley, Colorado, where Joyce and I used to live. And in the Tribune, for years, there are 2 columns, one of which is called Cop Log, which has to do with phone calls that come into the local police department from people seeing weird things in the neighborhood and feeling they have to report them or send a policeman. But half the time, the things are just no reason to call a cop at all. And then there's also something called 100 Years Ago, where our friend Mike Peters goes through the newspapers from 1923 and finds the most weird, nostalgic, goofy, fun things that were in the paper 100 years ago and brings them out and publishes them once again. So we mix up both of those in a segment that I like to call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. No? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. I mean, and I repeat again and again and again. The unfortunate thing is that even though they said they're fixing it, even though they said that it's going to come back, we still do not have back cop log. Maybe it's in the pages of the hard copy, I don't know. But you cannot go.
Why don't you ask our friends Friendy, they could look.
Yeah, right, I should. And say, this important column. This column that keeps me from having to write material because I can just make fun of other people's material, real life material.
Could you think the online version of the paper is different than the print?
Not different, but I think maybe there are things, probably more things online than in the hard copy. That's the point. But I don't know. I just know that there has not yet been a new cop log since the middle of November.
You just sent me the picture again.
Yeah.
You just sent me the picture.
How can I send you anything? You have both phones.
No, but it came through the picture when you were doing the bird picture. It came through. I got it.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are down to our last two logs. We've been doling them out one per week.
Well, you have to.
Under the assumption, and I've been corresponding with Morgan McKenzie over at the Greeley Tribune.
Maybe she's not even there. You don't know,
And she said, "Oh no, well, it was this glitch of how they were able to get the things up automatically."
Maybe check in with her again the end of the month.
I will, because she said, well, we got one item apparently, and this was 2 weeks ago,
Wow.
and then we're going to start this up again every Thursday.
Oh.
Do you see it? Is it there?
It might be in the print one. We don't know, like
Maybe.
you said.
So sad.
Ask
So sad.
Friendy.
So it's basically going to be Old Times and elsewhere things for perhaps a while. So we still have one piece of criminality for you in Greeley Crimes and Old Times, and here it is. It also has to do heavy lifting now because these have to be so good because I can't do 5 or 6 of them. There's just one crime from cop
What makes
log.
it more special?
Well, let's see.
It's more special, hopefully. Well, maybe not. I speak too soon.
And by the way, I like that outfit because every time you lean over, I'm kind of distracted by your boobage. So it's very nice. I think you dropped that, hon. I think you have to go really low down there. Okay. A caller on 17th Street said kids were jumping the fence, complaining that kids were jumping the fence to steal marijuana from the neighbor's yard. Such different times we live in, right? And by the way, she knew it was pot because they returned much slower when they started. No, just kidding.
That's so. How does she know?
How did you know, A, that the neighbor was growing pot in the yard, which I guess is legal?
And then how do you? I mean, if you get a plant, how do you make it into pot? I don't know. Like you have to probably do something to it, bake it. I don't know.
Oh, how you turn it into smokable?
You can't just like take the leaf, right?
Can you?
I don't think so.
Didn't Indians do? I mean, Indians didn't process it in factories.
I think there's some kind of processing involved.
Maybe. I thought, shouldn't you just be able to take a leaf and roll it?
But that's the statement of the times we live in. Yeah.
That was a statement of like, I've never ever smoked pot and I have no idea. Bucket list brownie, probably. Anywho, so now let's do some old times. These are things that were in the Greeley Tribune Republican newspaper back in 1923. A Denver newspaper is conducting musical concerts for the entire state by radiophone.
Whoa!
Oh. There is also talk of broadcasting daily news, and if this happens, this is an editorial kind of back 100 years ago. If it happens, will this lead to the ruin of newspapers in Colorado? Like, well, in approximately 90 years, yeah.
Yeah.
It took a while, but between the internet and radio phone,
That's great.
mm,
How beautiful. Everyone could hear the concert. I
oh
love
yeah,
it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the disadvantage of whiskey in Greeley, now whiskey was a dry
Yeah,
county,
yeah, yeah.
prohibition and all that.
Yeah.
2 pints make 1 quart, 2 quarts make 1 party,
Yeah.
and 1 party makes 4 first-class funerals.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it was a dry town back in the day, rather ridiculously. Oh, I love that one. Do it again. The Greeley rendering plant this week.
Oh.
More things change, the more they don't change. This week, the Greeley rendering plant is having a special
Yeah.
on recovering the bodies of dead animals. All dead animals on private property will be removed for free.
Oh, no.
Called GRJIIFI. Called
Is
GRJIIFI.
that like a Sweeney Todd kind of thing?
No, ask for Mr. Swift. No. Kidding. You wonder, are they doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, or if they're rendering things like
There's a problem.
possums and raccoons and bunnies
There's some
and
sort of problem. with that.
foxes? I don't
I
even
don't know
know
what
what
it is.
A party of an outlaw group at the State Teachers College was broken up by police at 3 a.m. on Sunday.
Whoa,
Probably
those
Saturday night into
teachers,
Sunday
those
morning.
teachers.
Yeah. Members of the student group who were taken to
Woo!
court on Monday. Students were told they couldn't go back to college here because they broke Greeley's anti-liquor laws.
Whoa.
Well, come on, all the guys took turns licking her. So, thank you. So they all went to their homes around the state. So let's move around and go elsewhere for some news, since we don't have any old time stuff. But these are things that did not happen in Greeley, Colorado, or northern Colorado. We sometimes grab crazy news from around the world, but again, real stuff. This was reported in the New York Post, and it comes from Kunming, China.
Ooh.
Kunming, China. And I didn't realize until I spent all the time reading and rewriting this thing. But the story actually came out in 2018 and went viral again this week for no good reason. So it's an old story, but it's back in the news for whatever reason. In 2016, a family in a remote part of China adopted a puppy,
Aww.
or what they thought was a puppy.
Aww.
Su Yun, who lives in a village outside of the city of Kunming,
Oh, I sent this to you. I know what this is.
yeah, bought what she was led to believe was
Yeah.
a Tibetan Mastiff
Aww.
while on vacation in 2016. Well, Mastiffs are huge dogs with thick black and brown coats. Males can weigh up to 150 pounds.
Ooh, that's a big dog.
Still, the owner was shocked by her dog's insatiable appetite,
Yeah.
especially when he grew to more than 250 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
She was also stunned seeing the animal sometimes walk on 2 legs.
What?
Nervous.
It's a, what do you call that? Chupacabra.
Well, no. Su Yung called the authorities, who identified her dog
Yeah.
as an Asiatic black bear.
And she's lucky it didn't kill her.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Didn't she want, like, if you're, okay, most,
Mastiffs are big.
yeah, but mastiffs walk on 4 legs. I've
Mm.
never seen a dog walk on 2 legs.
Well, poodles can.
Yeah, but not like a 250-pound one.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be a scary
Didn't
poodle.
she notice that anything suspicious when it wanted honey? And it kept asking, I need to hibernate, you know?
Well, we went to go to Yellowstone Park.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well, the
She's
bear.
lucky she wasn't killed.
Oh my God, the bear who was living in Su Yung's house. Was, this is a house dog.
It's a house bear.
Can you imagine the paper training on this thing?
Oh. What do you do if it poops or pees in the house? You can't, like, you know.
Well, you can't discipline it. You don't
No.
whack it on the nose with newspaper.
No.
No. In fact, they tranquilized the bear to get it out of her house and brought it to a wildlife rescue.
Oh.
And he's alive and
Oh,
well.
good.
So yay.
Well,
So
how do you get a baby bear? And wouldn't a baby bear be more expensive than like a puppy? Why would they give her a bear instead of a puppy?
I don't know how this happens. What,
There was one year where I saw where a guy rescued what he thought was a kitten,
Hmm.
and it grew up to be a fox.
Okay, I get that.
And there
I can
was
see
two
that.
other stories where people
Wolf.
said this was like a purebred,
Hmm.
like poodle or something, and they had dyed it. So it was a dog
Oh,
that
so that
was
was
like
deliberate.
blonde,
Yeah.
and then the animal had like a beautiful like a coffee colored, fur. And then the woman shows it later on when the fur grows out, the underfur is like vanilla colored, and she's like, this, it doesn't look anything. And I read one about a guy who wanted to get a pit bull, and someone sold him a hyena.
That's probably safer than a
I mean,
pit
I don't
bull.
know, like what?
Yeah, no,
Maybe,
look, I can understand confusing like certain dogs with wolves because they're so close to the same,
But-
like an Alaskan dog.
if you go to a vet, shouldn't the vet be able to say like, this is the vet would look at it and say, this isn't a cat, or if she brought the puppy to a vet, the vet would say, this is a bear. I mean, I think,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. How did a vet sort of not notice?
I don't know. I think she probably never brought, you had to bring it for care.
Yeah, right? Unless it was one of those rural things where they get Dr. Pole to come to the house.
Yeah,
but
but
even Dr. Pole
would
would know.
what
Yeah.
a bear is. I mean,
I remember when there was, we went to the fish store one time to get some kissing gouramis, and I pointed to one thing, and it was just kind of floating upside down, and it was a hamster, floating dead in the tank.
God.
And I said, no, you see, and they pushed it, and it sort of kissed against another thing. I was like, no, that's a hamster. That's not going to work. Yeah.
People know this. Vets know, and if they don't know, they could do DNA testing and see what it is.
Wow.
I mean, come on, right?
So, but at least, hey, it all worked out okay in the end. She's fine. I mean, think about it. There are people who have gorillas and lions knowingly.
Yeah, but they know. If you think you're getting a kitten and you're getting one, got a leopard, like a snow leopard. They thought it was a kitten. Like that's different.
Or Mike Tyson, I think, has weird like animals on
But that's
leashes.
so different. Yeah.
But any given day, the most loving, protective cheetah or mountain lion or tiger thing could tear your face off, just because, So Shu Yun got pretty lucky there. Let's do one more elsewhere, and then go back to an old-timey thing, and we'll close the segment. Elsewhere, some comedy here. A Florida man, true story, was walking with his family on a beach. This happened like last week. This is just in the papers. When he found an abnormally large clam. Turns out it was not only big. This one, I think you sent me this one too.
Oh, tell me.
The clam is a quahog kind of clam, which means that you can count the rings on a clam the way you can a tree.
Of course.
Turns out this clam, if that thing is legit of counting the rings, that clam has been alive since 1809.
That's crazy, right?
Can you imagine something being alive since 1809? Gulf Specimen Marine Lab says Blaine Parker, who works at the lab, was walking along the Gulf of Mexico when he spotted this monster quahog clam. Now, most clams are 3 to 4 inches. This one was 6 pounds and a half, 6 pounds and half a foot long. I wonder if it was a bear.
I bet it was a bear.
Could have been a bear. Since quahogs are like trees, they have concentric rings that tell their age. He counted 214 rings.
Oh my God.
Which dates the clam back to 1809, the year President Lincoln was born.
Could you imagine?
And guess what I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
This is not my line, this is theirs. This is from the story. What do you think they named the clam?
Booth?
That's clever, that's funny. No.
Abe?
Yeah, keep going.
I don't know, Abe.
Aberclam Lincoln.
Oh, I love that! I love that!
Yeah.
That's good to me.
Parker told a local newspaper he was looking for clams to make chowder, but he didn't have the heart to kill. This was, thank goodness, he didn't kill this one.
Aberclam Lincoln?
So he kept it at the lab where 100 visitors a day came to pay tribute, and then he released it last week back into the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow.
Born free, because the quahog, it's got that thing with its long tonguey thing out there. I don't know if it's hairy. I'm not sure if it's hairy like a mussel. But
I sent you the picture. Hold on.
Apparently, we never finished that thing about the waiter, the guy at Mom's place, not my mother's place, but mom's where we go shopping, who said that. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. But mussels are hairy. They're supposed to, you pull them, you clean them, you clean the hair off of them. So he thought the hair part was like stuff from being left out for 5 hours. It's like, no, it's got hair on it.
We're not being prepared correctly, like clean.
Yeah, no, well, you do have to pull the if you don't want to eat them. But, however, as I said, I did make a hairy clam joke, and I was so, so proud. Let's do one more old time thing, and then we'll finish this segment here on Dave's Gone By. Let's talk about, where are we? In Frederick, Colorado, also in Northern Colorado, robbers used sticks of dynamite to blow open a safe in the Union Pacific Railroad station, and they caused a ton of damage. The ceilings were demolished, office furnishings were destroyed, and holes were blown through the outer roof.
Good Lord.
The thieves
What'd they get? Yeah.
took cash from the safe.
How much? $2?
$5.
That's too much work. Like all that work?
For $5, they probably spent more on the dynamite.
Yeah, but maybe back then $5 was how much?
20.
Oh.
No, I mean, if you go through all of that, you're gonna want a haul of like
That doesn't seem
$1,000 or
to
something.
me like as a risk benefit that
Yeah.
doesn't seem to
Yeah.
risk benefit.
Anyway, we're going out with a bang here on Dave's Gone By. That was Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
He was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yippee indeed. It is about 20 after 11 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce, and thanks to all of you who are watching and enjoying at home. Remember, if you want to see older episodes of the show, they're all there for free at davesgoneby.com. Remember, KT Sullivan was talking about Mark Nadler that she does shows with. We've had Mark Nadler on the show. She mentioned Julie Wilson. She has a picture of Julie Wilson in her apartment. We had Julie Wilson on the program more than a decade ago. Julie Wilson passed in years hence, but she's been on. Steve Ross, all these people on her posters have been guests on the show. If you want to hear their interviews, because again, for the first 17, 18 years, we were a radio show. So there wasn't video back then.
No.
But even so, the interviews and the episodes are all saved for free. davesgoneby.com, or you can find them at archive.org, or just the audio at castbox.fm. So either way, however you want to find them, and remember on the website and on archive.org, we even have a separate archive of just the interviews. We've stripped away the music, stripped away all the rest of the episodes. So if you're looking for other cabaret people like Carol Channing or Linda Lavin or Katie Huffman or Jason Gra or tons of other people who've been on the show from the cabaret and Broadway world, just go to davesgoneby.com, and either you find the archive of the full episodes or you can find the archive of just the interviews. We've also got the archive there of Rabbi Saul Solomon's Rabbinical Reflections. Now you can find those on his website, shalomdammit.com. But if you want the archives with the audio as well as the text, you can just go to davesgoneby.com and look for Rabbinical Reflections from Rabbi Saul Solomon. It's all there. Literally at this point, several thousand hours of entertainment of Dave's Gone By that you can find at davesgoneby.com. Remember also, please, that my other website, davelefkowitz.org, is the place to read my writings, my interviews, my song lyrics, my one-act plays, my full-length plays, all that sort of stuff, the fun stuff, and some of the I don't write a lot of serious stuff, but there's some of it. It's all there at davelefkowitz.org. So, with that in mind, I've told you, let's see, about myself. I've told you about Rabbi Saul. Remember his website, shalomdammit.com.
I had a nice interview with your guest.
Yeah, he was great. They were both great.
It was weird that they were dressed alike. That troubled me.
It should. It should. I mean, she had to pay us and everything.
Yeah.
So, but Rabbi Saul, he did a show off Broadway over a decade ago called Shalom Damn It. It was filmed fairly professionally, and the whole film is available at shalomdammit.com. It's also on YouTube. It's a YouTube link, but go watch it, shalomdammit.com. And then even 10 episodes of his hilarious TV show that he did for Long Island cable television. Oh, again, about a little over a decade ago. Those are at shalomdammit.com too. So check that out. Well, since we're mentioning the wonderful people who've been on this program, including KT Sullivan, that you can see Friday nights at the Algonquin, right? KT Sullivan at the Algonquin every Friday night from 6 to 8 p.m., kind of doing an open piano bar, sing-along thing. But this Thursday, day before St. Patrick's Day, remember that KT Sullivan will be at Pangea, Pangea, the Pangea Club on 2nd Avenue, downtown around 12th Street in New York City, doing an Irish show. All the Irish class, maybe she'll find a Pogues song and throw one in, but it's classic Irish music from KT Sullivan when Irish eyes are smiling. Get your tickets at pangeanyc.com. Thank you to David Sheward, who of course writes for culturaldaily.com, theaterlife.com, and the David Desk, and to, well, those were our only two guests. Right? I was going to thank Leslie, but give a shout out to Leslie and to Charlie Gross, who are doing Two on the Aisle. Now, there are other people who have been on this program, not today, but in many months and years past. We want to honor them. We want to salute them too and let you know what they're up to and how they are doing. We call them the Friends of the Daverhood, and here's what they're at. So, for example, I want to let you know that Donna McKechnie of A Chorus Line fame, Donna McKechnie is going to be at 54 Below tonight. So get your tickets at 54below.com. On Monday, Richard Battier, the playwright, his new play Thornwood is getting a reading at Urban Stages in New York. It's called Thornwood by Richard Battier. I don't know if it's an industry reading. I think the public is invited. So it's this Monday night, the 13th, at Urban Stages in Manhattan. On Tuesday night, Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are playing at Birdland. Go see them. And then moving to, of course, let's see, if you happen to be in New Jersey, Millburn, New Jersey, go to the Paper Mill Playhouse and see the new musical by Alan Menken, our friend of the Daverhood, and by David Zippel. It's called Hercules. So that is happening now through the 19th. You have one more week. And you have 2 more weeks to see Ishmael Reed's play The Conductor, directed by his wife and also our friend of the Daverhood, Carla Blank. This is at Theater for the New City off Broadway. It's called The Conductor. Also playing to basically the end, almost the end of March, Christine Petty is playing Lady Bracknell in The Importance of Being Frank. It's a riff on the importance of being earnest, and it's being done at ART New York on West 53rd Street. Want to let you know, of course, that on Broadway, Tova Feldshuh is in Funny Girl, now until that show closes on the 3rd of September. Off Broadway, remember that Katsura Sunshine is doing his Japanese storytelling show Rakugo once a month on Saturdays at New World Stages. I'm not sure which day of the... I'm sorry, what was that? Well, he has never been on the show. Although I should mention this. Joyce and I finally had a chance to watch the the Weird Al movie. It's called Weird, the Al Yankovic story. It was made for Roku, and there's a link from Weird Al Yankovic's website where you can actually watch the movie for free. I was shocked because I wanted to see the movie when it came out a couple of months ago, and I did enjoy it. I mean, it's funny and a bit unexpected and weirdly violent in intention, even though it's a comedy. It's surprisingly dark for Weird Al stuff, although if you listen to a lot of Weird Al music besides the obvious parodies, there is some dark undercurrents under there too. But it's pretty, it's absolutely worth seeing. And Dr. Demento, of course, is played by Rainn Wilson in the film who does a
And the
really,
guy,
really nice
Jim
job.
Gaffigan, Manatee guy, plays somebody too. Who does he
No,
play?
it wasn't Jim Gaffigan. It was
Oh, I thought it was Jim Gaffigan.
who played which character
Yeah.
in
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Look, cast of Weird, right?
so you have Evan
What
Rachel
is
Wood.
the cast of the Al Yankovic movie Weird?
Well, yeah, who do you have there? Who was in
I
there?
have to. I don't know how to look it up. It looks like biography, comedy. I gotta look it.
Because Joyce is looking up the cast of, it's called Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Here it is. Let's see. We have, Diedrich Bader.
I had trouble finding it.
Oh, Diedrich Bader, if you remember him from the Drew Carey show.
You told him who played Al.
Well, Al,
Harry Pooter.
yes, Daniel Radcliffe is Al. I thought he was really good.
He was really good.
Yeah. And there's a cameo by you know who. Yeah. All right. Not gonna mention it. Oh, Julianne Nick. She was the mother. The mother was the one of the girls from Law and Order.
Let me
Julianne
see.
Nicholson. They kind of
Oh, that's who she was. Yeah.
aged her and put her in a fat suit. But yeah, and then you've got let's see who else. Toby. A lot of people you didn't really hear of.
Well, they also gussied them up in it was a different time period.
Yeah.
So I think that it was more difficult to recognize some people just because of the different time period that they were portraying, you know.
And Weird Al plays an executive, a music executive in the show. He's very good. And so he's in there. Patton Oswalt,
Yeah.
who I think was supposed to play Dr. Demento,
Why
but
did he change?
I think he had a health thing or he couldn't do it. So
Oh, he wasn't in there?
he had he was one of the hecklers.
Oh,
so he was in there for a minute.
yes.
And Michael McKean, he was an MC there. I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't
but
see him.
The Demento part wasn't so super expansive that he couldn't do it.
I know. Well, there's a pretty big role in the film. Dimitri Martin was Tiny Tim. I got that. I know. I saw that. And I did not recognize him at all. Conan O'Brien was Andy Warhol. Emo
Because of the
Phillips was
wig.
Salvador Dali.
Oh, that makes sense.
And you caught this. I
Oh.
get it. Jack Black was Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, well, I saw that. I must have seen it somewhere around.
Because they're not real, mostly real spot-on impersonations. They're
No,
kind
they're
of
like embodiments of that person, or similar to what that person would be like.
yeah. But it's not. I'm hoping that
What?
it's where that Dr. Demento isn't in the film. He's the characters in the film, but they didn't get Barrett Hanson.
Yeah, but that's what you said. If they had some real people playing themselves and some fake people
Yeah.
playing themselves, it might be confusing to others.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. That makes sense.
Yeah,
to
but they
what
had
you
Weird Al
said.
Yankovic playing the.
Yeah, but that's him. It's his story,
Hmm.
It didn't like Hitchcock was always in his own,
Exactly for 4 seconds.
Yeah,
it was like
but
he
I
waved.
think that's why.
All right, maybe, but it would have been nice just for a moment to have Dr. Demento, like do a Hitchcock cameo, because there would not be a Weird Al Yankovic without a Dr. Demento.
Well, what did Dr. Demento ever do his own story?
Oh, there's a thing about that. So by the way, keep talking about this because Demento was on this program twice,
Yeah,
and we're very, very
I
proud
don't
of that.
understand.
Then we're gonna about a few years ago, there was supposed to be a film called Under the Smogberry Trees, a documentary about Dr. Demento. Not a huge, big $10 million studio production, but they raised money in Kickstarter to do a legit documentary
Yeah.
about, and then and Demento was cooperating and all this, and they raised the money, and then at one point Demento pulled the plug and he took away permission from them to make the film for I don't know whatever reason that is, and either he wanted to make one of his own or he didn't like what they were. I don't know
What
the
happened?
reason.
Did he block it or what?
Well, yeah, he I'm assuming he pulled his permission. Aside from the
So
fact
what-
that
Yeah, what is
he
that?
probably
mean?
asked all these other people not to cooperate,
Oh.
so you couldn't do it. So you can make a film about somebody without their permission.
Yeah, you could do like we see on a Netflix where they talk about like a court case or something, and then they talk about all the parties involved, and they say this main person, like the Murtaugh thing, the Murtaugh guy didn't
yeah.
speak, so they do it.
But imagine if Dr. Met tells everybody who would be interviewed, "Don't cooperate with this. It's not legit. It's not real. It's not." So it fell apart, and there's no. I think you can get like homemade-ish Dr. Demento documentaries
Why
on
doesn't
YouTube.
he make one?
Well, that's what I'm waiting for. He's 80-something years old. It's time. either write your memoir. What the hell are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Or make the movie or do something. It's ridiculous. And we're losing people. We lost Artie Barnes this week from Barnes and Barnes because they would be a huge important folks. You should have done it when Benny Bell was alive, when Tiny Tim was alive, when.
But you can still do a retrospective of them.
Well, yeah, and there's footage, I guess you could cull of them. But it would be nice if people were around that you could still talk to and ask. And I think I asked back when Demento was on our 500th episode a few years ago. He that was his second appearance on the show. And I was probably asking him at that point what was happening with the documentary. I don't remember what the answer was. But it's a shame. It's kind of a shame. But at least we have the Weird Al mockumentary. I still would have preferred a documentary. I still would have liked, because for me, that whole milieu is such a part of my childhood.
But I feel like Weird Al, because the way he lost his parents and stuff, I don't think it would be very hard. I would assume it'd be very hard to write that or be part of that.
Yeah. Well, they could also leave that one part out of his story.
Yeah, but you really can't.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, if you don't know the thing of Weird Al, he's had a charmed life. I mean, he's basically, as the movie says, he's made a career just writing funny lyrics to other people's music and becoming a world-selling multi-platinum artist from doing that. And I didn't realize, I looked up on I think he was divorced one time already, so he's been married and divorced. But I mean, he's had a pretty great life, all things considered. Except for the fact that one day when he's out on tour and he's out far away from home and he gets the phone call that night or that morning, like his parents were both found dead in the living room. But it's actually a great way to die. It's the most wonderful way to die. They had carbon monoxide poisoning. They fell asleep in front of, I guess, the fireplace and didn't wake up. So if you're gonna die, but imagine you're a kid, you figure your parents are not a kid, you're in your 40s or something.
Yeah.
And your parents were alive one minute and then you get the call that they're both gone at the same moment from something as preventable in a way or silly as that happening. And then he had to go, he was stay on tour. He was performing the next night. Imagine, the ramifications. So even the charmed life has,
I would like to, it would be nice. I think this is the trouble I have. When anybody writes your story, it's not your story because it's not from you. Only you can write your story. And even if it's not quote unquote true, it's your version of your story and your events because memory changes, right? We know that and your perception changes. So if somebody else writes your story, I think even if they did his story, I'd like to have him at the end or something be part of it and talk because.
Are you talking about Weird Al or Dr. D or both?
Both.
Yeah.
I think you can't have the main character absent in the making, and I know they change stories for like marketability, but you want the person to be like, for me, understanding how Weird Al felt and his experience would help a lot of people who were in the same position, but people who lost people. I think it would be really helpful.
If you're going to concentrate, or just people who feel like weird outsiders and have a talent.
Yeah. I think it's much more, the thing that I loved about the Weird Al movie is they made the fact that he could play the accordion like the cool thing. They're like, nobody here can play the accordion. He's like, just wait, right? So I like that they flipped things that were uncool and made them hip, and that was really, really.
And there is a very clever idea of that sort of flips things on its head when Weird Al comes up with. Invents his original song called Eat It.
Oh, yes, and the copy is the original.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson comes out with a song called Beat It, and Weird Al is livid. He's like, how dare he?
How did you copy my...
It's a very clever movie.
It's
pretty good.
But I also agree. I like real documentaries over mockumentaries.
Yeah. Oh, unless you're talking about Christopher Guest movies, in which case they're great. Unless you're talking about Best in Show or... A Mighty Wind, which is one of my favorites, but it's absolutely worth seeing the Weird Al. And if you want to see the Weird Al movie, by the way, you can go figure. Even if you don't have Roku, just go to his website; it'll give you a link. And I am definitely this week going to be watching I can't believe there's a link to this. I've been waiting for this for years. There's a Brother Theodore documentary. Now, Brother Theodore kills me that I never got him on the show. He was kind of old by the time I was really doing the program.
Yeah.
But Brother Theodore, there's a documentary about him with interviews with some famous people and footage and clips. And I couldn't find it. And then because I was looking up stuff for the show here and about where, and suddenly, found a working link to the Brother Theodore. So I'm going to tell you about that next week, about Brother Theodore. Because I think I asked him. I had gone to see him one last time at the, was it the Bleecker Street? No, it was the 13th Street Theater that he was at. And I went to, I figured it would kind of be the last time, but he was still performing. He was still doing his Saturday night show. And I went up to him after the show, and he was just very, very nice, very reserved, quiet. But it never happened. We never kind of got him on the program.
That's a shame.
It is. But anyway, we've been in the middle of doing Friends of the Daverhood, which also
I think the
include
bread has probably another half hour, I'm guessing. I
At
put it in
least.
8:30, I can't.
12. No, it's gonna be 12:30 to 1.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, because I figure it's got 4 hours, 10 minutes to
Right.
make, yeah.
Yeah. So
Not that I'm sorry for the audience, but you can't have the bread.
no.
Did you order our bread cutter?
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Seth Beeson Hirsch. You can see him Tuesday nights doing Seth's Talent Showcase at Don't Tell
Okay.
Mama.
I forgot I should do this while you're.
Also, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano. They appear at Birdland every Saturday evening. I think they're at 5:30. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Lilius White is in Hadestown at the Walter Kerr Theater. Alan Menken's Aladdin is playing at the New Amsterdam Theater on Broadway. And off-Broadway, the revival of Menken's Little Shop of Horrors is at the West Side Theater. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Evan Seplow founded and edited the website stagebuddy.com. And Dr. Demento, still doing new and old Dr. Demento shows at
Maybe you have to talk
drdemento.com.
for 5 minutes.
I can't drag this. This is a kind of the last. Going to give a shout out to Vicky Quaddy.
Why don't you show your friends, like,
Who's that?
Oxytol?
Oh, I couldn't. I will. Let
peanut
me
butter
finish this up.
potato.
Vicky Quaddy has her shows Late Night Catechism, and I'll bet she's starting to do Easter Bunny Bingo out in Chicago now at the Greenhouse Theater. So a big shout out to her. Wish we got her on the quiz today. If I'd known, could have asked her.
No, Leslie said she had a bad night. She was sleeping. She didn't feel well.
I gotcha. And
Sometimes it's like you do it. I sleep late some days. You know. You
I
sleep
know.
late.
Well, yeah. There's such a thing as an alarm clock.
Yeah, but sometimes if you don't get to bed until like 4 or 5 or 2 or 3, you can't.
There's still an alarm clock. It's still an appointment. And actually, if you don't get to bed until, let's say, 3 in the morning, right? And you have an appointment at 10 a.m. from your house, you can still get a pretty decent night's sleep. I'm just saying. I'm not casting aspersions.
Yes, you are.
Well, I'm just saying. I know she's getting health stuff, but Anyway, what else? Do I? So, those were the friends of the Daverhood. Hello, Haydn, play. Oh, right, yeah. Thank you, Joseph. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Dave's Gone By. It's 11:45. Potato is here. Hi. Yeah. Potato is happy.
Say goodbye when you need to, honey. I'll work it out.
Well, I can do the limerick, and then you can
yes.
come on and we can talk about changing the clocks and stuff. So, here's Axolotl. Hi. So, here's yes, I put it off as long as I possibly could. It's time for the Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Now, this is something I've been doing for a few years now. Joyce and I live in northern Colorado, and I got it into my thick skull to write a short poem about as many places in Colorado as I possibly could. Don't know why I did this. Don't know why I'm still doing it, but I'm well over 250 different towns, different poems about all these different places in Colorado. And since these are limericks, which means they're kind of naughty and sometimes horrible and disgusting. We call them Colorado limericks of the damned. And today, we go to Wiggins, Colorado.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado.
Colorado, Rado, indeed. We go to northern Colorado for our Colorado limerick of the damned. Let me tell you about the place. It's called Wiggins, Colorado, like Mrs. Wiggins of the Carol Burnett show. Wiggins, Colorado. It's a real place, and it's a growing place. It's in Fort Morgan County, and it nearly doubled to a population of 1,400 in just the last 10 years. So it's become a destination place. They're really building it up. It's in northeastern Colorado, about 40 miles from Greeley. It was originally a railroad depot that was named, I guess they were kind of happy they didn't keep this name. It was called Corona, but renamed,
Corona.
but renamed for Territorial Scout Oliver Wiggins, who helped fur trapper and expeditioner Kit Carson in Colorado. So that's why Wiggins is kind of a big deal back in the day.
Mr. Wiggins?
Mr. Wiggins. The town calls itself, quote, Gateway of the Plains and the Rockies.
Ooh.
And the town has an annual, and this is I think the same thing. It's a fireworks and bluegrass festival.
Nice.
Not a fireworks festival and a bluegrass festival, but a fireworks and
I was just
bluegrass
telling
festival.
my friend and
Yeah.
my colleague that when we were at Merlefest,
Oh yeah.
that we were going to see, was it Dylan or no?
No, Costello was at
Costello. And
Yeah.
no, but we were going to sit, and nobody was sitting in this area. And then we're talking about poisonous, like mushrooms and all that you think you should eat. And the guy points to me and says, "Leaves of 3, let it be."
And it was
He
an
said, "This
ivy
is
or oak.
Yeah, poison something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to be careful you don't sit in the poison oak ivy.
Definitely. So, and also, but I would, in a hot summer's day,
Yeah.
if you're sitting on bluegrass and it's turning into gray grass, I would be really careful with fireworks.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'd be like,
Yeah, you just
maybe,
shoot them up high in the sky, honey.
yeah, but they still come down and there's, I don't know,
Gotta
not a
fire
fireworks
people.
person. Anyway, this poem, and you can leave the kids in the room. It's not so bad. This is a poem for Wiggins, Colorado, our Colorado limerick of the damned. Ahem. An amorous actor from Wiggins
Ding,
was eager to play Henry Higgins.
ding,
His frivolous heart wasn't set on the part,
ding, ding.
but the tits on Eliza were biggins. Yeah. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby at AOL.com. Davesgoneby at AOL.com. I read everything that I get. I don't have time necessarily to respond or even give a thumbs up likey thing. But please, you can email me, davesgoneby at AOL.com. You can post on our Facebook page, the Dave's Gone By page. So, either under the show or you can message me there if we're friends on Facebook or you're a Facebook member. That's the thing. You don't have to be a Facebook friend of mine to watch the show. I mean, anybody can just go on Facebook and see us live. And if you missed the live show, you can either scroll down 5 minutes after the show's done. It's saved right there. You can watch it. Or, of course, wait a day, and we have it on davesgoneby.com and archive.org. But either way, love to hear from you. Please check also my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. It's Radio Dave, and the number 2 is my Twitter. We do have an Instagram page. I do believe it's called Dave's Gone By, because we're starting to put stuff on Instagram just to get the show out there. And one more time, apologies again to the many people who send me friend requests on Facebook. I'm at 4,900 and something, so I have to be careful to get to hit the limit. Not to mention, I just don't have the time to wade through all of these and then go through people necessarily who are friends but are moribund, haven't been on Facebook for 2 years, or God forbid they died, and get them off to make room for others. So if you've been waiting for me to acknowledge,
How come Facebook doesn't overcap it,
I think if you have a business Facebook page
Oh,
as opposed to a personal Facebook page, you get more than 5,000 or something like that. But probably what I should have done in the first place. But anyway,
One more minute.
anyway, I do love to hear from you, and love your comments, your suggestions, your ideas, your thumbs up. I love it when people play the quiz along with, and you know, they type in their things. Yeah. You know, that it's all part of the fun of being in the Daverhood, where we are right now on this March 11th, 2023, doing our 885th show, which has been called Sullivan's Travels. So I'm figuring I'll do a new episode next week. I'm going to have this week off from school. We're in spring break, so I should have the time to actually do up a decent new material for a decent new episode, even though we're all going to lose an hour tonight. I know you all know that. And there is, once again, I think Marco Rubio has put a bill through to get rid of this clock changing, this ridiculous stuff that I've been talking about for 20 years on the show. But even here, it isn't even a Democrat-Republican thing. It's still a thing that people can't quite agree. Nobody really likes having to deal with changing the clocks back and forth, and even though it's gotten on some level easier, even though we're all on so many digital devices now that do it for us, we don't have to suddenly sit there on a computer and change the time. We don't have to go on a friggin' microwave. It sort of knows, right? Because back in the 25 years ago, you had VCRs, and the VCR, you sent a VCR to program, and if you get it wrong, you accidentally record a show that was on an hour too early, right? So we don't really have that much. And people don't even wear wristwatches anymore. I'm in a classroom with 20 kids. I think maybe 2 of them. I'm one of the only 3 people in the room with a wristwatch. If people are tapping the things, they probably have Fitbits on. And those are automatic, or they have digital watches or things like that, or they're just looking at their things. So it's become, on some level, physically easier to deal with spring ahead, fall back. But it's still such a pointless waste of time and memory and endeavor. I remember one time I was working at an office, and I come in, right, and my boss kind of gives me a look, and we usually got along really, really well. It's a great boss, but he's kind of there and he's giving me a look, and I'm getting, laying out my coffee and my bagel and getting my computer going. And he just said, well, kind of a little bit late, aren't we, Dave? And I'm like, what? Late? I'm like 15 minutes early. Because I would usually get in about 10, 15 minutes early before 9. And then it dawned on him in that moment that he'd gotten in 45 minutes early because he never changed his watch. I was like, oh, sorry, Dave, man, I completely
nobody
blanked.
else was in there. I mean, other coworkers.
Yeah, well, he would get in normally early anyway, but he would be like, So I was sure, why wasn't I there at like 9? His watch was saying it was close to 10, and I'm like, no.
Check your watch, bro.
So that it does lead to dumb moments like that, but the thing is now the argument is, well, wait a minute, if we're going to stop changing the clock, fine, great, wonderful. People tend to agree on that one. But do we keep daylight savings? Or, and I think this is the preference, do we just do one more daylight saving and then go back to standard time and keep it at standard time? Because there's arguments for both. Daylight savings gives us these nice long days.
Yeah.
Starting like on Monday.
But this argument has been,
I know.
This is like beyond.
But think about it, Monday, 7:30, it'll still be light outside. I mean, this Monday.
Daylight savings time.
Right? And that's kind of a nice in the spring and the summer, even late winter here. Well, what are you showing? Oh, it's hard to see. Hold on, let me get that on. Wait. Oh, no, it won't let me.
Gimme.
Yeah.
It's an article about the dark side of
daylight savings. I mean, people used to think it was for the farmers. It had nothing to do with that.
It says the real reason was to create a natural way to save energy and get more out of our natural light.
It didn't happen until 1918. I thought they did it in the 1800s.
Yeah, but it says as of the Energy Policy Act of 2005,
Yeah.
every state and territory had the option to opt out of DST.
Which they should. And there are a couple of states that do it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think overall,
Wait, what 3 states? Take a guess.
North Dakota, maybe, or Hawaii.
So it says what 3 states, and then it just gives 2.
Oh, what are they? Well,
It says Arizona and Hawaii are outliers.
yeah.
They don't
Well,
change.
Hawaii
it.
makes sense, right? They have sunshine anyway.
Oh, in Arizona, yeah.
You say Arizona, and what
Hawaii,
was the
yeah.
third? Arizona, Hawaii, and what?
There isn't one. It
Oh.
says 3 and there's only 2.
But the thing is,
I posted a thing about people with dementia to get people used to the change because most people have internal clocks, right? And so people who have an internal clock and get confused by changes.
but it's an hour.
Yeah, but it is a bit messy.
I mean, I understand if you fly from New York to California, 3 hours makes it. If you fly from New York to London,
Yeah.
you know, and it's you leave in noon and suddenly it's dark when you get to London when you get off the plane.
There's so many things here about adjusting and not
Yeah.
wanting it.
I'm talking about an hour. It's the pain.
Oh, it says
what?
here.
Yeah.
Not only Alaska and
Alaska, Arizona, and Hawaii.
and it says Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, because it's.
Oh no, yeah, and then 2 states, Hawaii and Arizona.
But one thing people forget when we're living sort of in New York and the Northeast but not far Northeast,
Yeah.
is that places like Maine and North Dakota,
Is it really
which have
different?
shorter, you know, what would happen was you're actually saving children's lives because more children are walking to school
Oh,
when it's
yes.
dark out, unless they do this flip change to, you know, I don't know. I did mention, I talked about this a few weeks ago on the show, that it was kind of nice for when fall back happened in October, so that if I'm going out, when I was teaching an 8 o'clock class
Yeah, you actually
and getting in the car at 6:30, you know, and I didn't want to drive in the dark. So it was kind of nice that they pushed it back a little bit, but I don't know. So that's why daylight savings, though, has an issue, because if you keep everything an hour ahead, by November, December, January, it's going to be dark out at 7 o'clock in the morning.
True.
And now you've got kids who are waiting at school buses, walking to the school bus, and so forth. You're going to lose a couple more kids every year. Just keep it. One person wrote in, not to me, but to the newspaper, and said, well, why not just do half an hour? Split the difference. And make everything like,
Yeah.
make 8 o'clock 8:30. But I think that is such a mindfuck that I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like. Yeah. Everybody suddenly turn your clocks to 8:30. I guess you could, right? I guess, or spring and fall. You know, I don't know. But my vote is stop the changing nonsense. After daylight savings is over, go back to standard time and leave it at standard time and be done with it. It's silly, it's pointless. I'm not a Marco Rubio fan by any stretch of the imagination, but why the hell not? It's time. I want to hear your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you want to email me, if you want to post on Facebook.com, let me see. Yeah.
And we have to stop at the UPS store for my return. It says it's a box listing. You just give them the code and the item.
All right.
So we'll do that.
Oh, you mean for
I
the watch
sent it
thing.
to your email. You
Yeah.
got to sign into Amazon and print the label or whatever, print the code.
No biggie. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Let's see if I have any messages or anything. Let's see if anybody wrote anything or
I
is
can
doing anything on the. If I put on the show, it might slow me down here. La la la.
check your email for you.
Anyway.
Oh boy, what a good show, honey.
Yeah.
I think
Well.
we should go out with.
Oh, we need to go out
And you
with.
want me to put the on air so you could do off air?
Yeah. So we're gonna end this show
You
now.
tell
It's
me when to
noon.
go
It's
off air.
12 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern time here in the Daverhood. We've done what we've come to do. Greeley Crimes and Old Times, Colorado Limerick of the Damned, Today Yesterday Trivia Quiz, and of course Rabbi Sol talking to KT Sullivan. So much fun. So much thanks to Leslie Hovan Blake, David Sheward, KT Sullivan, Rabbi Sol, my wonderful, darling, and adorable wife Joyce. Everybody have a fine, fabulous week. Everybody also please have a safe and good St. Patrick's Day.
Thanksgiving. Oh God, David. If you've been on the air that long, it'd be November.
To quote an old sketch that we had on here featuring Blarney O'Bunions,
Oh yes. He was
don't drink and drive. Drink, then drive, because you need both hands on the wheel. So,
No, call an Uber or Lyft or call a cab or call a friend.
yeah, here we go. Are you ready? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me know when to undo my sign.
Happy times to you, and gone by. Oh my goodness, let me get the music going.
Days gone by, days gone by, there goes the day. Days gone by, there goes the day.
And gone by. Oh, I kind of need to turn it this way, don't I? Here we go. One last go round, and gone by.